Thank you for picking up the Sticks. This is episode 150, Sticks Gaming Podcast. I am Myke Carnett. To my right, Myke Steak Carnia.
What's going on?
To my left, Art O Canada Rosian.
Oh.
So I just got back from Canada.
My home.
And we just got back, went to Montreal, which by the way feels like, I don't know, a completely different like world away. Like it knows a whole different country, but it is whoa different. Like it's actually
It's French.
It's actually illegal because they're trying to maintain their. We did a walking tour. It is illegal for them to have English words on any signs or anything.
What?
Because they felt like they were
Racist.
losing their French heritage to the English, and then they basically passed this law, be like French and French only in the Quebec province.
Well, see, Montreal is pretty. Actually, doesn't surprise me because when you think about like the Montreal Canadiens,
Right.
Every time they hire a new coach, he has to speak French.
Yeah.
he has to.
It's a thing.
Like
We were
that makes sense.
on the tour. We were sitting in a corner, and she was talking about all these different things. Hey, look at these signs. All right, now look to your right. Now you'll see English because that was federally owned property, and they could have English and French there. But if you have it literally like across the street, it has to be all French.
Huh?
It was a great time.
Huh?
Love Canada. But it did prevent me from playing Resident Evil 4.
Yeah.
Because it literally came out the day we left. It was the day that came out was the day we left.
Oh, that's brutal.
And we came back Sunday, and today is Wednesday.
Yeah.
And it's been a whirlwind tour between Sunday and right now.
Yeah.
This is the first time I think I've sat down and like done something for myself since I've got back from Canada.
I saw the pictures posted, and like I can't wrap my head around going on vacation somewhere that I have to dress warm.
Oh, yeah. For spring break, no less.
Yeah. Well, that's like every time
The opposite.
every time I go on vacation, we go to Florida, we go to the Dominican Republic, we go to California, we go to Nevada, all warm places. It's like someone's like, let's go to Minnesota in January. I'm like, nah.
Minnesota, Minnesota in January is like, I don't know, it's a barren wasteland.
I was there last January for a bachelor party for the Blackhawks.
Wow. Oh, yeah.
Whew. It was negative the whole time.
I don't know what it was because I have no idea what Montreal was because it was in Celsius. So I have no idea what it actually was. It was low. It was mid-teens. I don't know what that means. But yeah, it was a really good time. We were in a mall and I was just looking around that they have the directory or whatever it is, and I saw Electronic Boutique. I'm like, holy shit!
Oh, that's right. I forgot they have EB still.
They convert them all to GameStops.
Oh.
I take the extra trip to walk around and see like the EB games with the Maple Leaf on there and shit. Nope. Because games like, oh, it's a GameStop. I guess I'll go in.
I have these at home.
Yeah.
When did they do that?
I don't know
They
when.
had to be recent,
but
but it was EB Games for a long time. Still.
Both malls that we end up having, because I looked at both of them.
Yeah.
Both of them end up being GameStops.
Okay.
And what else do you have out there?
Bummer.
What else do you still have out there?
Toys R Us.
Toys R Us.
Oh, yeah.
Which was so much fun, but they have no video games there anymore. But I still bought all kinds of stuff while I was
I mean,
there.
they definitely should have video games, and they definitely should have the little plastic packets with the slips. You have to bring them to a counter.
They still
yeah,
ha-
bring
they-
the little card up.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
They still have those slips for like their bigger things they have in the back, like the big playhouses and stuff like that.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Those are exactly
Nice.
the same.
Nice.
And again, that was in Montreal, so I
That's
always say
awesome.
Toys R Us in French is what it was.
That's awesome.
I was trying to get like French Monopoly, but they only had Monopoly. They didn't have like Monopolo or whatever. I was gonna get
Monopoly.
Monopoly. Montreal Monopoly.
En français. Oh.
Hello to all of our Montreal fans.
That'd be awesome.
All right, so I mean, it's probably been like a month or so since we've done this.
Yeah.
A little over.
A little bit
Over a
over.
month, actually.
I think 3 hours actually. It's only been 3 hours since we've done this last. If you look at our YouTube. But
Y'all are slacking. I was doing this 3 hours ago.
yeah. So, but in the big, I mean, we got some big. Today is just gonna be like what we've been playing because it's been a while, so that's gonna be a lot we're gonna talk about. But the biggest news is gonna be our topic, which is the death and demise of E3. So we'll get into that a little bit later. But before we start that, Steak, what you playing?
Everything. Everything. I trying to put that list together today. I know I'm missing so much from this list.
Goodness.
So, but we'll start.
Oh, boy.
Here we go. Get ready, people.
Back at lunch.
So
Buckle in.
from the last time we talked, Theorhythm Final Bar. That's that Final Fantasy rhythm game. I went through everything, every single song, every single everything. I still have I still have a bunch of quests to complete. But yeah, no. I think I've when I took my break, and I haven't touched it since because it's all I was playing. think it was at the 35-ish hour mark.
Jesus.
So yeah, it's so good. I love it. It's so good. It's one of those games where it's just like, I have a few select games where it's like, if I was stuck and could not play anything else for the rest of my life, I could play that.
Oh, wow.
I could play that forever. And there's been a bunch of DLC stuff that I still actually haven't even checked out yet. They've added games from Nier.
Really?
Music from Nier.
I keep figuring this is Square Enix joint.
Yeah. The World Ends With You. They just added some music tracks. Live Alive. They added a few, which I was super excited for it because I think they added like 4 songs, but then I was super disappointed. Not super, but a little bit disappointed because 3 of the 4 songs were from the original game, and only one of them was from the remake.
Okay.
So like it was like the way it was done was kind of like, I mean, it was still similar music, but it was like, I don't know. It just, I was hoping for a little, because like, you know, they do some nice visuals in the background, so I was hoping for more of like the Live Alive, the actual visuals. But,
Yeah, especially because you like just played it, right?
yeah, exactly. I mean, I just finished it last year, and then I finally, and then right before Game of the Year, I finished the true ending on that, and now it's coming out for PS5. So
I didn't know
in
that.
April, in April, which now it's like crap. Like I'm tempted to get it again for the trophies. It was that good. So, but it's like I think it's retailing though. It's only coming digital for that $50. I think it's on sale for $40 if you're a Plus member though.
Gotcha.
Before that. Something else I dived into. Probably about. I think it just hit like the 11-hour mark. I keep wanting to play more of it. I just keep getting distracted. Octopath Traveler 2. It's awesome. It is so good. It improves on a lot of stuff from the first game. I feel like it's smoother. It's a little more streamlined. Like you still, every time you get a new character, they start at level 1 and they got to grind them up and all that kind of stuff. So it still has like that like old school kind of aspect to it. But I feel like it's a little quicker though. Like I felt like before, like I was like taking forever for the guys, like every time I knew someone new, all right, come on, let's like I had to grind quite a bit for them to catch up. I feel like it's catching up a lot quicker.
Yeah.
Visually incredible. This is the best the best 2D HD game yet. But yeah, and the story has been phenomenal so far. So I'm really looking forward to really getting more and more into that. That's actually kind of what I've really been getting into more lately. But I did get distracted for a little while because of the Diablo 4 beta.
Oh, yes, that is so up your alley.
Yes. So Art and I in Vegas, we had some fun during that. It's awesome. I'm super pumped for it. Like it's Diablo 2 like setting, like much darker than Diablo 3, much more gothic like and everything like that, but it has a lot of the console like niceness of like quality of life stuff from like Diablo 3 kind of introduced, but then also kind of made that even a little bit better. During the beta, they were, they wanted you to get your hype up, so they were just throwing legendary equipment at you like left and right. But no, I think it's
I mean, I get why they do it. I really wish they wouldn't do that, though.
Yeah.
It sets a false expectation
100%.
that, like, oh, I'm going to, be able to get this stuff and get leveled up and then eat the game, and it's a grind to,
Yeah.
Granted, you had a weekend to get up to level 25 or 20 or whatever they wanted you to hit to get the whatever they
25
unlock.
was max, 20 was to get the unlock for the retail game, like the little dog pack that you can wear on your back.
Yeah.
Very important.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I'm not historically a Diablo player. It was fine. It's I think I'd be a lot more into it if I had done any of the story stuff. But at the same time, I didn't want to do the story stuff in the beta when I'm going to have to redo it when the game comes out.
Yeah.
I mean, that being said, I'm most likely getting the game when it comes out, if for no other reason than to jump on and play with you guys until you get distracted by Final Fantasy.
Yeah. It won't be till like
2 weeks later.
Middle of no.
Next year.
Gold.
I don't care.
It went gold. It's done.
Myke does not believe in gold when it comes to Final Fantasy.
It's happening.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was fine. It was. I'm not sure if it was, just the class I took, or I was still trying to figure out like how to spec out a character and the best way to build them out. But I felt like a lot of like you do a dungeon and you kind of go through there and the common enemies you come across are fine, and then you get to the boss, and they're just like a damage sponge.
Yeah.
Like I'd have to throw like all my attacks at them to do anything, and then I have to run around in a circle for 20 seconds for everything to recharge, so I can do it all over again.
Yeah, I wonder how much that was the beta or how it's going to be too. You know what I mean? Like I'm not sure. Like because like a lot of times like usually like harder difficulties like in Diablo they become like damage sponges and stuff like that. But like some of the easier difficulties, yeah, it might take a little while, but like you at least see the health decreasing. Because when I was playing by myself for a little bit, like that we do that prologue part. You got that one boss at the end.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, okay, am I supposed to? At first, I was like, am I supposed to die?
Am I supposed to die here?
Because like I was barely like it took forever to start for that health to go down. Like and then eventually I was like, okay, no, I think I am actually supposed to win this battle. Like, yeah. So I wonder if that was just kind of beta, but I don't know. I mean, let's find out. I guess.
And I mean, granted, it was a beta, so it's kind of hard to nitpick at a beta. But like, there was at least one issue I can recall in there where it was after you had gone to bed and me and Vegas were playing. We went through a dungeon and got to a boss, and for whatever reason, I don't know if it was a dungeon or if it was just like a mission. We get to the boss, and the boss just keyed on me the whole time.
Oh,
so I spent the whole battle just running circles, dodging projectiles, just trying not to die, and like the whole time, the entire time. I think I attacked it like twice, and that was like just to get my spirit back up so I can throw other projectiles at it, and the whole time just kept focusing on me. I'm like, I'm just gonna dodge. I'm not doing any damage. I hope.
Get him.
Keep
Yeah,
firing,
I hope you're strong enough to take this guy down by himself. He's not going to target you at all. But another. I get why they do it, but one annoyance I had with the game mechanic was the cooldown on the dash, and how I did not see any way to reduce that cooldown.
No, I hate
which sucks.
That. So that was the one thing I did not like at all. So like so you could use your dash, but then it's like a 5 to second cooldown. So it's like, okay, cool. So I use my dash, and then okay, cool. Then they all follow me,
right?
And then they come and attack me anyways. So it's like, okay, cool. So I avoided maybe like a big attack or something from like the enemy, but then they're all on top of me anyway. So it's like it saved you from a big attack maybe, but that's it. And then I ended up like never using it because of that.
Yeah.
Because the cooldown was just so long on that. And that's the thing too, because and then going back to like the way Diablo 3 is, Diablo 3 you just use the right stick and you can dodge left and right as much as you want.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm kind of curious to see what route they go in the final game with that. Again, it's a beta, so I'm assuming controls are the way the controls are. However, who knows? They could have just made things certain ways for
that's
for
like
this.
It's like tinkering stuff too. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, it's not
right.
like I said, the controls are the controls, but you're talking about like honing in on the cooldown or like making sure like the main guy isn't following one person in the party over and over again. Like
I mean, it made for a great strategy. It just
yeah.
Maybe that's the point. Maybe that's what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah. Maybe that's that boss's thing. It just obsesses over one person and takes it in the butt from the other 3 people in the party.
Yeah. So, but needless to say, I am super pumped for that. I am super pumped for Diablo 4.
I'm not super pumped. Like I said, I'm probably going to get it just because I need something different to play, socially. Because I'm at my wit's end with Siege. So,
My God,
it only took 8 years.
Yeah.
Jesus, I don't think I've had a job that long in my life.
I have. Job in now.
I'm approaching it.
Wow, you've been there that long already?
7.5 years. Yeah.
That's crazy. So after the Diablo 4 beta was over, it led to more Diablo for me. I had the itch.
Did not lead to more Diablo for me.
Yeah. So I jumped back into Diablo 3, started a season character, got through Act 1, and then I actually jumped into Diablo 2 Resurrected as well because I bought that when it first came out and
I saw you playing it.
Yeah. So I got through Act 1 of that as well. Man, is that game dated?
Oh yeah.
It feels dated now.
That's what I was.
Oh my God! After playing 4 and then 3 and then going back to 2, I was like, wow.
Yeah, after the 4 beta came and went, and then I saw Diablo 2 whatever version on sale on the PlayStation Store, and I was like, maybe just to get familiar with it. And I went on around, like, was reading stuff, and it's like this game's so dated. I'm like, I'm not.
Yeah, because even though it's like the only thing they really did was like make it like, oh, here's console controls and the resolution. That's like, but everything else, all the like, we're not going to change anything. Like, we're not going to make quality of life changes or anything. It's going to be the true Diablo 2 experience, which that's great, but it's rough, especially with what we know what we got now.
Yeah, like, you just got off like the newest, like freshest version of it.
Yeah. So after that, so this game I had zero interest in for the longest time. And fucking Nintendo goes and releases a demo for it. And it drew me in. And
Sucker.
Oh my God. Nintendo pisses me off. In a good way. Bayonetta Origins. Cereza and the Lost Demon. This game is awesome. Fucking awesome. So I think I just hit the save point. I think it was like 54% into the game now. Probably hit roughly closer to, I don't know, probably close to the 8-9 hour mark. But basically it's kind of like it's an action / puzzler. So you control Cereza with the left stick and you control the demon with the right stick.
Okay.
So you're both out there doing different things, and then also corresponding with the R and L buttons. So with the L buttons with Cereza, like you're running around, but she's very weak. So this is like her again, it's an origin. So she's learning how to become a witch. So, but you do have a spell like where you can basically like tie up an enemy with thorns, and then so that slows them down. So then you can bring your enemy, so then you can bring your demon over and attack with your demon and do different combos.
So are you doing a lot of fighting or puzzling or both?
Both.
Okay.
It's actually a pretty good mix of both, like a pretty good even.
Because it sounds like that Brothers game.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that one too. Yeah.
Tale of Two Sons.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it was like the same thing. Like you control one brother with the left stick and the other brother with the right stick. And that was like 99% puzzle, I think. If memory serves.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
There was like a little bit of like avoiding stuff.
I would say more like stealth or yeah. Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. I mean, if you've got a Switch, the art style is amazing too. Go download the demo, check it out. Like I said, it was one of those. I love the Bayonetta series, but like even when they were showing it off, I'm like, this. I don't get it. Like this seems odd and weird, and like I guess I don't know. It's one of those games where it's like even if you watch someone play it, I feel like you still won't understand it until you're playing it. Like and you feel like and then like while you're trying to figure out these puzzles and stuff while controlling the two sides, it's like you really gotta kind of think about it and like move around because you can only keep yourselves apart a certain amount and stuff too.
Okay.
Like once you get further away, it's like there's certain things you can't do then. Like I mean you can still move away, but you can't, certain things you can't do, and then there's certain areas like the demon can't go and vice versa and stuff like that. But yeah, I am shocked with how awesome it is. And last but not least, I left this for last is my PlayStation VR 2 showcase.
Ooh wee.
So the last time we recorded was the launch day.
Right, yeah, right when it came out.
The launch day. So I have been playing a ton, and I mean a lot of PSVR 2. I'll just run down these really quick here. So we'll start off with Horizon Call of the Mountain. It's really good. It's a lot of fun. You get a really good feel for like. And I'm playing with like kind of like the immersive controls.
All right.
So when you want to move, I'm actually like moving my arms up and down to walk forward and stuff like that. And then it looks great when you're climbing. It feels like you're climbing. There's certain times where you really got to reach for like certain branches and stuff like this. You're actually feeling like it. And there's times where I'm like if I have, if I'm giving my arms a rest, I'm like, why is the branch like here? I'm like, oh yeah, because I'm here.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, oh, I'm hanging again. Cool. Really, really neat and interesting. I gotta get back to it. I got stuck at a part. It's actually a combat part that I got stuck at.
Okay.
I got three of those damn things attacking me, and like I just can't. I can't grab arrows fast enough and fling them, and I'm missing. And the dodge mechanics. Tough to get used to also, so I gotta get back to that and check that
I heard
out.
someone describe it as like you're on like a circular rail, right? Kind of is how like you're fighting and dodging and moving around.
Yep. That's the way you got it. And actually that's like the best way to think about it too, because if you don't, because like that was kind of what screwed me up. It's like I was kind of trying to run away instead of dodging, and I think that's kind of where I was getting mixed around and everything. I played a little bit of Resident Evil Village. I've got the shit scared out of me a couple times while I was playing it. But
Did you ever play Village when it first came out?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, completely finished.
Okay.
It.
I
Yeah,
don't
completely
remember.
finished. Yeah. It's crazy. It's awesome. It looks amazing in VR. It plays fantastic. I don't even remember the part at the beginning when you meet the guy in the shed, and then you. And then you go down into the crawl space, and that guy. Oh yeah. I nearly fell over.
No, thank you.
That scared the shit out of me. And it's great because it's been so long since I've played the game that I kind of forgot what was going on. I'm looking around. I'm like, all these dead bodies. Like, this is crazy. And I turned and I was like, oh god. So that was awesome. Thumper got a PS2 VR upgrade. So that was so I played a little bit of that. It looks very sharp now on PSVR 1. It's still one of the best PSVR 1 games, but it looks a lot sharper, a lot cleaner, runs a lot smoother.
That's a good game.
Yeah, very good. I also jumped into Res Infinite, another upgrade one, because that was only like a $10 upgrade for that one. I'm awesome in VR, and oh my god, it's that both of those games, the haptic feedback on the headset is so cool. Like it's like it kind of like adds to it. Like it's neat. One game that I did the trial for, and I really I'm going to buy it as soon as it's on sale. Puzzling Places. You're putting together 3D puzzles.
Oh, okay.
So it's super chill. You're just grabbing pieces. You're putting them together, and then you can like grab what you're working on, turn it all the way in all different directions to see and stuff, and put it together.
God. There was a game that was, I think it was the launch of PSVR 1. I think it was called Tumble. Whereas like you're just surrounded. It's the equivalent of like a kid playing with blocks.
Oh, I think
with VR,
was.
and you just have you're just kind of like you have like a half moon around you of just blocks. The whole idea is you're supposed to stack them to get to a certain height.
Yeah,
and so you gotta look around and grab it and like balance it, and that's the whole game. And, and like the stack would move down, so it would just be always like right in front of you. Right, and they had like hidden ones off to the sides, you had to like lean back, and grab and stuff.
Yep.
Yes.
Oh yeah, no, I forgot about that game. Yeah, but no, it's like I said, it's only $20, but it's one of those. There's just so many VR games out there.
Did you get the drum game? Oh yes.
Hold on. We'll talk. I'm getting there. I don't
know what it's called, but
Drums Rock.
Oh, I saw like kind of like a weird like sizzle video of.
Oh yeah. Well, let's talk about that right now.
Okay.
So Drums Rock. Drums Rock is Guitar Hero, but with drums. You have your drums in front of you. You got your sticks. Dude, you feel like a fucking rock star. Like this is like it's like that like when you played Guitar Hero and like you're playing on hard and you're like hitting it for the first time again.
Yeah.
Dude, there was one, I forget which what was it? Oh, Black Betty. I was playing Black Betty. And I was playing that, and then because as you're going through the campaign, you unlock more songs, you're playing more songs, and then as you're going through the campaign, the song there's 3 acts, and it gets hard. Sometimes then you got to come across the song again, but it's at a harder difficulty and stuff. So I got to Black Betty on hard. Man, dude, I am sweating.
There's a lot of high.
I am sweating. It's fantastic. This is probably my favorite VR game.
Okay.
Like, right now. Just because, like I said, it even has like the meter looks like Guitar Hero. While you're going through the campaign, sometimes you have special things that you have to do to complete a song. So sometimes instead of whenever you see a yellow note, instead of hitting the yellow drum, you have to click your sticks together. Like stuff like that. Like,
all right.
And there was one song I had to do with only one drumstick.
Oh, jeez.
That was insane.
Were you in Def Leppard?
Huh?
Were you Def Leppard?
Yeah, exactly. So there's probably like
the drummer from Def Leppard only had one arm.
Yeah.
If anyone doesn't understand that reference.
Yeah. I think it has like a total of like 30 songs. 10 of them are licensed. Okay. And 20 of them are originals. And even the original songs are awesome. They're so cool. And I'm super pumped because on Twitter they released a roadmap and there's more stuff coming.
Oh, beautiful.
Song packs, more like licensed song packs. There's stuff coming. So I am super pumped for that. But yeah, it's awesome. It is so
it looks like so much fun. Like
good.
How would it not be fun? It's just like
oh my God.
air drums
It
with
is.
like pluses and minuses of the consequences of doing well or bad or whatever it is.
Yep.
Like,
And then, and then like Guitar Hero, you're like, you know how like you would, you would activate star power.
Yeah.
So for this game, so you don't have like a certain like meter or anything, but what you can do is you can throw your stick in the air, catch it, and then your next hit is worth 3 times the amount.
All right.
So, but let me tell you,
Just like keep juggling and hitting
let me tell you, you miss that stick, it drops. You got to grab a new one from your back. Because if you don't, you're going to be drumming with nothing and missing notes. So yeah, it gets wild. It's just like on harder difficulties.
Really cool.
It's awesome. And then last but not least, the Dark Pictures Switchback VR.
Oh yeah.
I've been playing that. So visually, I mean, it looks good. Don't get me wrong, it looks good. People online are complaining, and I get it. I do kind of understand it. They're like, "Oh my god, this looks like Rush of Blood. This looks like a PSVR 1 game."
Yeah.
It's like, okay, it's probably been a long time since you've played that. It doesn't look that bad. Should it look better? Absolutely. I think it should look better, especially because I played other PSVR 2 games that look better, so it should look better. And there's also times where the game's kind of, while you're going through it, kind of stalls here and there sometimes, and that in VR is extra jarring.
Oh
it's
yeah.
bad enough when like frame rate's drop when you're playing a game, but then like when the game kind of pauses or certain stuff is just not working correctly, like it's jarring in that headset for you. But I'm enjoying it. I enjoy it. I think I'm on the last of the 4 games. So I gotta go back and finish that up. Each game probably because it goes through all the 4.
The ones that come out already.
The ones that have come out already.
Yeah.
So it probably takes about an hour and a half to get through.
Okay.
Like 45 minutes, maybe like an hour or so.
It's the same like on-rail shooter type
Same thing
of
as Rush of Blood.
Okay,
it's an on-rail shooter. But it's kind of neat too because like it actually, replayability is there's a few different spots where you can hit to go left or right.
Oh, okay.
So I've been going right for everything so far. So when I go play through it again, I'm like, all right,
So
left.
that's so smart. I'm like,
Go
I would just be like left, right, left, left, right, right, left, left.
So yeah, I made that decision very quickly. So this way I knew for the second playthrough, and I know they're working on a patch to like fix a lot of this stuff. So it's like, all right, so I want to get through this, at least play it through, and then I'll wait, and then when they actually get that patch out and supposedly fix and upgrade and everything, then I'll go through again on the left. But it's fun. But no, I am super enjoying PSVR 2. I mean, I've been playing it a lot more than I feel like. I mean, I know it's still brand new, so that's part of it. But God, just the one plug is just so nice. Mm-hmm. It's like it's so much easier. Like
and right up front, and it's just like
right in front too. Exactly. It literally takes me a minute to hook it up. Like it's just like even if I only like drum, like there's been plenty of times with drums rock. I'm like, you know what? I'm tired. I'm like, I'm gonna go play a song really quick. I play one song and then I go to bed. Like it is. I can't because
I don't know how you can move that much and then go to sleep.
I'm gonna go. Usually it's like, well, I'm about to go take my shower before I go to bed.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
yeah.
Might as well get a little sweaty. So now they're taking up all our time.
No, you're all good. No.
I mean, we only have 2 news items topics, so taking up time is fine.
And like I said, I have a feeling there was probably more I played, but it's just.
Well, I don't have. Looking back, I was like, what did I play? And I had to look back. There's not a whole lot, but Art, what you playing?
More than usual for me.
Although
it has been a month and a half. I mean, how many do you have?
2.
Yeah, you have the least.
Well, you also were on vacation for a little while.
Yeah,
so
that's true. Well, I guess maybe 3. I guess.
So I already talked about the Diablo beta. I guess we'll just go through my list of games I'm playing on the Steam Deck here.
Ooh,
nice.
So I paid the $3 for Vampire Survivors on Steam Deck.
Nice.
Or on Steam, which I play on Steam Deck.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's because it's been like 3 weeks since I played it on Xbox or what, but it's different.
Oh yeah, they changed. Man, they add stuff so much, and they just talk about another DLC coming soon too.
Yep,
with more whatever achievements
more
or
survivors.
goals.
Oh yeah, more achievements.
More everything.
Breaking everyone's 100%.
Yeah, so Mike's gonna lose his 100%.
Yeah.
Well, I already. I never get the DLC one. I never get back. I played that very briefly while I was waiting for wrestling to download. That's a story for later. But
nice.
Go ahead.
So they had their Steam. Well, I don't know if I talked about this. Did I talk about Cult of the Lamb last time?
Yes, you talked about that. You started it.
Okay. Yeah, so I can give a little more detail on there. For like if you look at it, it looks like a lot of other similar indie games. There's a lot going on there. So you have the aspect of it where you're trying to go through the story and fight through the levels to do the story. Let's just put it that way. That's kind of similar to a lot of the. It's like a lot of the bullet hell games, but you're using melee weapons.
Okay.
Which is, it's weird. It's not difficult, but it is challenging all at the same time. However, it's kind of hard to like hit game over in the game because your followers that you have in your cult, those are your extra lives. If you die, you sacrifice one of them, and you're back alive.
Okay.
Did you name one after me?
I didn't manually name any of them.
That's a shame.
I went as lazy as going. They have you name like your cult, and it starts off as like Cult of the Lamb. I just called it Cult of the Art.
And it works.
Cult of the Lamb Art.
Well, here's the thing too. Like your followers, you have like they age as you're playing, and they die of old age. Which old age, quote unquote, in this game is like 40, which makes me feel great about myself here in real life.
You have to throw lambs and sheep and shit. They don't live that long.
But like, yeah, so you have the combat part of the game, but then you also have the build your cult and like the base building aspect of it, which you have to do the base building and grow your cult to power up your character to be able to go into combat and progress through the game. And the building of your cult and like improving the rating of your followers is you do sermons and I can't remember all the terms for them, but like you have a sermon every day, which just kind of like preach to the crowd. You pick like events to do, like you can do a feast, or you can do a sacrifice, or you can do a whole range of things.
You do miracles?
I haven't gotten miracles yet. They do not like when they don't really like when you sacrifice people. But like you have to keep your cult fed and happy, and keep gathering resources. And if you don't keep the cult happy, you might get some dissenters in there, and you can try to talk them back into the following you, or they may just leave, or you can kill the dissenter. Which
send a message.
Which wasn't an option when I had a dissenter, because I would have killed the shit out of that guy. I tried talking nice to him like 3 times. I tried giving him gifts, and he ended up like leaving and taking a bunch of my resources with him.
Oh, I hunt him down.
If I could, I would. But
because some of your loyal people, I have to go find them. Yeah. That should be promoted in the game. So now 5 loyalists.
But yeah, I mean, for something that looks pretty basic and all the screenshots and stuff you see, there's a lot going on there. I like what I've played so far. I think I hit a point where the game's like starting to get challenging. I think I died a couple times. I had to sacrifice a few people, and then I got distracted by other shiny things. So Steam Spring Sale, I bought Card Shark, which is a Devolver Digital game.
Yes.
I did not get very far into it. It's set in like 18th century France, and basically
I was just there.
Maybe. But like there's a bunch of different like card scam type things that you do, and basically you kind of cheat your way through from like town to town and build your reputation, but it's like you can't push too hard on the cheats, otherwise the other person gets suspicious, and everything just ends there.
Yeah.
Of course, if you're not paying attention to what you're doing, like me, you'll hit the wrong button and screw up the trick you were doing, and you lose all your money. And I don't really have a verdict, yay or nay on that game. So far I've played maybe an hour of it. It's interesting. That whole 18th century France setting, I'm not sure if that's gonna be enough to keep me around.
That's why what was it? Pentiment. I was like trying, like that game should have been way up my alley because it's so weird. Yeah. And my understanding is like it gets interesting as further along as you go, but like I hit like the end of the first chapter in that game. I was just like, I'm back in the same town again. Like I'm talking to the same people again. Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, time has passed, but I was like, I don't know. I couldn't get into it.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give it a shot for another hour or so here, and we'll see how it goes. I mean, worst case scenario, it doesn't grab me. It was $7 on sale.
Yeah,
so
that's not bad.
I was looking at that and pull the trigger because I have so many things from the last team I haven't played, like a lot. Like I bought a lot, and I played only like 2 games.
Well, it's the Steam sale was going on. And I had I was like, oh, Card Shark. I've been seeing that one for a while.
And it's like only on, it's like Steam and like Switch or something.
And Switch, yeah.
So stupid.
Yeah, because that's that like drawn kind of looking
Yeah.
one, right?
Yeah.
I got that. I got Inscription, which I haven't played yet. And of course, I bought Final Fantasy VII for like the 18th time.
Nice.
You have to.
It was like $4, and there's gonna be some time where I'm on a plane and I'm be like,
Oh yeah.
this will burn 3 hours.
I was this close from buying it on Android before the trip because it's like maybe I'll try this.
yeah.
It was like $15. I'm like,
Yeah,
I
it's
can't.
a
do
little
it
crazy.
for
I would say
$15.
I only bought it because it was like $4. I'm like, why not? At some point, I'm gonna sink 20 hours into this and get halfway through, and I'll get my $4 worth out of it.
Absolutely.
But I also didn't play that after buying it. Other games I've played, because I like being abused and hate my life, Madden 23. I started playing the...
You played on. I mean, you played on Game Pass, right?
Yeah.
Okay, thank God.
Yeah.
Just checking.
No.
Just checking.
That game was sold and traded in a long time ago.
Yeah. I ended up playing like Madden, I think this year for a grand total of like $12 because I bought it like open and used from Amazon.
yeah.
Then returned it to GameStop and they had like an extra like bonus thing. So I think I spent like a grand total of like $15, $16 on
That's
it.
not too bad.
I started playing like the Be a Pro mode, whatever the hell they call it.
Be a Pro might be right. No,
Oh,
sure.
Be a superstar?
No.
It doesn't matter. Go ahead.
Yeah. Doesn't matter what it's called.
It's probably broken.
It is. It is broken. It's also like the most basic, bare bones game mode I think I've seen in Madden since like the 90s.
I just don't know. Like I said, they had that one where it's just like you were playing as like that guy. You were in the I forget what they
They had the
called
story
it.
mode.
The
Yeah,
story
the
mode.
story mode one,
And
yeah.
like they had the story mode, and it was like it was fine. And then
alright.
they brought it through the next season
Yeah.
with the same guy. And there's like, all right, everything you did that first season, we're gonna throw that away. And here's where your story actually is. It's like, well, that's stupid. Like, it doesn't even, and that was like the last time they kind of like tried at it. Like, I don't even know why it's an option anymore. It's like they can't change their menus. Like, well, we got to put something in there.
Yeah.
Like, we already had this like set up in the menu, so we got to make the
Listen,
story.
they already got people yelling at them for taking features out of franchise year after year. What do you think they're gonna do if they strip a whole game mode out?
Well, it's like Be a Pro for NHL. It has been the exact
yeah.
same thing for 10-ish years.
Yeah.
The exact same.
But yeah, this is like you set your schedule for the week, which gives you some different stat buffs. You do like one practice thing where you have to try to get a gold, silver, or bronze rating. You play your game, you apply your stat points. But like even I got, you start off you're like a third or fourth year player who, career backup quarterback. So you create your character, pick your team, and you play. And I got to like the 12th game of the season, and we're cruising along like playoff picture. It's like, hey, they offered you a new contract. I didn't want to sign it. I want to go to free agency. Nope, there's no option not to sign the fucking contract.
Oh my God.
We signed this for you.
Well, it's like
Yeah.
there was I forget what MLB The Show game I played when I was playing their version of that, and I was like rookie of the year. Like I had like the third most RBIs in the league, and they're like, oh, they're offering you league minimum. I'm like, motherfucker, I'm the future. Like you should. I don't want to sign this thing, so I refused to sign it. And then opening day they made me sign it, and I was on the same team. I didn't have any options.
Same thing. Last year when Switch had that free weekend.
Oh, yeah.
I played it. I did the same thing. I did a pitcher. Got drafted by the Oakland A's.
Well, they don't have any money to give you anyway.
Well,
so
yeah, right. I was amazing at the end of the year. Same thing though. They offered me. I didn't want to sign.
Yeah.
But then they forced me to.
Yeah.
I was like, all right. Well, I guess I'm now making.
I-
I'm still making.
I would
the
have
minimum,
rather had the-
And I'm still the star.
I would have rather had the game be like game over,
Right,
as opposed to like
right.
no, you're signing this garbage contract.
Yeah.
Like I'd rather been like your career's done. As opposed,
Yeah.
honestly, I would have been like you don't want to sign, then fine, go blow.
yeah.
I'm gonna take my talents to Japan.
That'd be so much more interesting.
That would be kind of cool. That'd be pretty cool. That would be pretty cool.
And I guess this is the Game Pass portion of my list here. I started playing Escape Academy.
Oh yes.
Nice.
It's interesting. It's okay. I'm still in the first couple like puzzle rooms. It's all pretty basic and straightforward so far. Like nothing's really challenging. But yeah, I mean, it was like it was on Sunday. I'm like, I want to play something. I don't know what. Let's see what's on Game Pass that I can, because I started downloading MLB The Show.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, well, I can't play that now. I got to wait, for 78 gigs to download. Let's find something else I can play that's small. I fired that up and, played it for a while. It's a fine game. I'll probably play it again the next time something similar. Like, I don't know what I want to play. you can just jump right back into that. There's no complex controls or anything.
Yeah, it's very low impact, which I definitely appreciate.
Yeah.
It's like like I said, you can kind of jump in, jump out.
Yeah.
Even if you end up losing the challenge, like it'll keep going, or you get another chance to do it again, and I really like my time with Escape Academy.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for the second DLC to drop before I buy their season pass, so I can get the two new story pieces.
Gotcha. Other thing I played, last one, MLB The Show 23. It's more MLB The Show.
Yeah. That's what it looked
That's
like.
about all I got.
That's what it looked like.
There was some Metallica on the soundtrack.
Ooh,
that's about...
That's an improvement.
There's Metallica on the wrestling soundtrack this year, too.
Ooh. It's fucking everywhere.
They must have been lowering their rates or something. They're all over the place.
Well, they got a new album coming out.
Yes.
That's MLB's one of the new songs they've released. So
Sad but true on WWE.
Luxy Turner.
yes.
Nice. I like that song.
But yeah, I mean it's more MLB The Show. I still suck at it. So
Fair.
yeah, I mean I poked around in the Diamond Dynasty stuff. It looks pretty much the same as last year. They still fired up a March to October game. Looks exactly the same as last year. I don't know. Maybe they made some mechanical changes. I'm not that into the MLB games to really notice those differences, but it feels like more of the same to me, which isn't a bad thing. I mean, for it being the only show in town, it's at least a decent game, unlike the only football show in town.
Does it play?
For
Do things just not make sense? Like, will the Jets play the Jets in the first round of the playoffs?
maybe, I don't know.
Because it happens all the time in Madden, apparently, still.
Maybe, I don't know. I don't think stuff that game breaking happens in MLB, but it seems like at the start of every year there's always like a bunch of buggy shit like with fielding and stuff like that, but nothing on it. Also, they address it unlike Madden, but nothing on the scale of like just game breaking shit like Madden's had.
Like you just erasing franchises?
Yeah, none of that.
Okay. Nothing's like Madden. Nothing is even close to Madden.
Nothing can live up to Madden. That's it. That's all I got.
Okay.
That's a long list for me.
I definitely.
That was pretty impressive.
I definitely have the least, and I'm going to talk very little about two of these things. Actually, there's a fourth one I thought of when I was sitting here.
Ooh.
I didn't get Final Fantasy on my phone, like I said, but I did buy Baba Is You, which I played on the Switch a long time ago. I have the Android backbone, which is amazing.
Nice.
It's awesome. When I was futzing around with the Final Fantasy thing, I was saying, I wonder if I can get an emulator to work with this thing with the controller.
Oh yeah.
And the main PlayStation emulator doesn't have compatibility with it. So you can get what's it called? RetroArch on there, but then you got to do all kinds of stuff. I'm not in the mindset to set this up. I'm trying to get to Canada.
Question.
Yeah.
With it being all Frenchy, you have to drive on the wrong side of the road in Quebec?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, everything is. It's
so they're French when it's convenient for them.
Oh, and I guess, but honestly, it was
Typical.
the entire time.
Typical French.
The entire time we were there, and also it was the entire time we were there. I think we ran into two people that spoke no English whatsoever. Everyone pretty much spoke English.
Yeah.
So I was like, we went to a couple markets. I'm like, oh fuck, how many grams and a half a pound?
You got a phone?
I know. That's what I did.
That's what I was saying. It's not like if you go anywhere where English is not the primary language, it's not like it was 20 years ago.
Right,
you can pull out your phone, type in what you want to say into a translator, and just show it to the person.
Yeah, and honestly, do you speak English is something I figured out real quick, and then asked
Parlez-vous anglais?
They're like, yeah, parlez-vous anglais. They're like, oh yeah. How can I help? I'm actually from I'm actually from Kansas. All right, cool.
That stuck from high school French.
I know. So much of it came back. Honestly, it was way more. Because I was terrible in French in high school and college, but a lot of it came back to me.
Oh, you took French in college, you fool.
Back in the day, it was okay. Well, we have to make time in your daily schedule for theology because there will be nothing more important in your life than theology. But if you want to take computer science
and learn Excel,
you have to drop. No, mine was actually computer science. It was Visual Basic the first year, then it was Java the second year.
Nice.
But I was in the very first Visual Basic class. I was in the very first Java class my junior year and senior year. But if you had to take that, you had to drop your language. There's no way they could fit into your thing. So
that's crazy.
There you go. Anyway.
Which, I mean, you went to school initially as a computer science major, so it made sense to take,
Right, but I would have liked to have taken both and not taken French in college.
That's
That's fucking terrible.
That's a good point.
Anywho, video games. So Baba Is You is still great. It plays great. I got further than I did on the Switch, actually, because I had more time to think about it and do it. I'm probably actually about halfway done with the game, but it's just like my brain is melted trying to figure those things out. Did I talk about... All right, weirdo offshoot game. Did I talk about the Agatha Christie ABC murders last time?
Yes.
Okay, good. Then I'm going to talk about it again. I finished it.
Yes.
Did I talk about finishing it?
I don't think so.
Okay, I finished it.
Okay.
It was, yeah. It's one of those things where I like the Sherlock Holmes games because it'd be like, you can be wrong.
Right.
You can totally be wrong.
Oh, yeah. Right.
This one, there's no way for you to be wrong. There's not even a chance of you being wrong.
That's disappointing.
You could try to be wrong and it just pushes you back to where you need
And
to be.
ultimately, there's you're trying to do these deduction things where you're putting pieces of evidence together to make a conclusion, and it's just nope, that's not it. And I mean, I guess this doesn't even, and some of them didn't even make any sense. I'm just brute forcing. Is it this one? Nope. All right. Is it this one? Nope. All right.
You sound like me playing solitaire.
So
just click on the card. Do you go anywhere? No. Do you go anywhere? No.
So yeah,
no.
so that was fine. All right, my two bigger ones. So this game was leaving Game Pass, and I had it on. I downloaded it forever ago. I never played it, and I actually wish I would have played it earlier. No, it's Paradise Killer. Have you seen that one at all?
No.
This is such a weird game. It is okay. I didn't get a chance to finish it, but I'm eyeballing it to get on sale because I'm I think I'm halfway through it. Fuck, I don't even know how to even start explaining this thing. It's kind of like a visual novel. Okay. It's very similar to the Danganronpa, where it's when you come across people and they're flat and you talk to them and then their picture pops up and you have the conversation, but you're moving around. There's a big 3D space you're moving around. Now I'm going to try to explain this, so I apologize if I sound like I'm having a fever dream. So you are a detective in this world. You've been exiled for 1,000,000 years, literally 1,000,000 years. And this world is full of people that are blessed by gods who are trying to construct the perfect society. And ultimately this corruption comes into it, and they got to start from scratch again and they have someone who's the architect, and the architect builds the town, and they have someone who's talks to the gods, and they have this one who guards the seal, and they have this guy who is moves people around from island to island, and it's this is the 23rd or 24th version of the island, and then you can find collectibles that give you the history of all the previous versions of the island, and it's just and every character is insane. Every single one of them. Every single one looks crazy. They talk crazy. They are crazy. It's really wild. But the problem is
it Paradise Killer?
Paradise Killer. So you're a detective and you're trying to solve a murder mystery because they're in the middle of trying to destroy this island. They're trying to get everyone off of this version of their reality to their next version of their reality in the new island. And someone breaks the second seal and kills all these people in this temple, all the people that they need. I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
And you're trying to figure out okay, who broke the seal? Who knew about it? Who can find this? I gotta talk to these people. I gotta call them out on hey, well, okay, did you see XYZ at all? They're yeah, I saw them. You were going to this penthouse with this other guy, and you talk to them, and their story doesn't quite match. And you're trying to catch them up in lies, and but you also have other mysteries pop up as you go. Another guy was found dead, way off the beaten path that I came across. And you can kind of walk anywhere and do anything as you go. It's wild.
Have you met this crazy person?
No.
No? All right.
I said, but I only got to
$8 for the next 2 hours on Switch.
Fuck Switch.
That's right.
No, I started.
That's
I
right.
started it on Xbox. I'm not gonna redo the 8 hours I did, whatever it is, all the decisions I've made and things I've found, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But so you have all these different people on all these different characters on the island that you can go up to and talk to, and you can ask them about their alibi. You can talk about, hey, who did you see? Ask them about X, Y, and Z. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? Who might have known about this thing? But also you have a chance you can just hang out with them more and build I don't know if I'm romancing these people or if I'm just trying to get them on my side. Maybe a little bit of both.
Trying to get their pants.
Hey, baby.
Possibly. But it is. I I didn't know what I was getting into. Like, I knew it was a little bit weird. And I knew it was a murder mystery. So I'm like, all right, that sounds like it's up my alley. And this is like, whew, man, I don't even know how someone even comes up with this thing. Like, it is bonkers, but it definitely grabbed me. And like, if it wasn't for wrestling coming out, I would still be playing it. But wrestling came out. This is the last thing I played. Whew. Okay, so I pre-ordered it. I had like a big gift card from Best Buy, so I pre-ordered it through them. I got like the super duper edition, the whole thing. Because I want and this year I was gonna make a universe and get a bunch of guys downloaded, and you got like you have a bunch of things unlocked, so you have like you're not missing pieces that you need for creative wrestlers and all that good stuff. Anyway, so I got the whole thing. Put the pre-order in through Best Buy. They're like, all right, we'll give you the code. They didn't get it to me right away. I'm like, all right, well, that sucks. So I had to wait for like 11 p.m. on the day that came out to like get it. So downloading and playing a little Vampire Survivor while I wait and all that. So I have played through the showcase, which is John Cena this year, which is like but they put a spin on it. So like this is.
Aren't you playing against John Cena and all of them? Yeah.
Yes, it's really smart. Honestly, so they do. It's just set up like last year with Rey Mysterio, where it's like Rey Mysterio is doing like he's talking to the camera, telling about like, hey, this is the build up to this fight. Here's what my thought process was. Here's what happened. Here's why it's here's why it's important. Blah blah blah. And then you go and have a fight. But this time around, you're playing against John Cena all these different times, which is so refreshing.
Yeah, I was saying.
By the time you're done with the Rey Mysterio story, I'm like, I do not want to be Rey Mysterio anymore.
I'm tired of Rey Mysterio. I'm tired of Rey Mysterio's moveset. I'm done.
So the very first fight you have is Rob Van Dam at One Night Stand.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
How accurate do they get that crowd?
I'm there. Okay. One of the things I noticed most in Showcase was the amount of things they had to blur in everywhere, because like obviously like the WWE owns that footage, but since it's in a video game, if they put like that like referee in the video game, then they got to pay the referee money.
Well, not only that, like they have to do all that because a whole bunch of people got sued by whoever did Randy Orton's tattoo. Because Randy Orton's tattoo was created exactly in the video games, and they were claiming they own the artistic license to that.
So they have like all kinds of like they're blurring belts. John Cena's feet are like blurred out the entire time because he's wearing like a
Nikes,
shoe, like Nikes, or whatever you can't show on there. There was one point where he has multiple feuds with Edge, and this is like rated R superstar like. Yeah. Ruthless aggression era with like when Edge and Lita are like a couple and other thing like that. So they have Lita on the outside, and she has like her tits are basically out at this point, because it was wrestling in the early 2000s.
Yeah. Realistic.
So like she's like in the background and nothing's blurred. And at the very end of the fight, they show Edge on the ramp with Lita, and they had to blur her out more or less, like because they got too close. It was just like, oh my god,
you're too close, man. You're too close.
So they blur out stuff in the crowd. It's just they blur out the announcers, they blur out the referees, all this stuff.
That's crazy.
And this year too is like last year with Rey Mysterio, I remember him talking over the fights too, like because they do the same thing where like you're doing like they tell you, all right, do a strong grapple in the ring. Yeah. Do a strong grapple, and it cuts to like a cut scene that ended up turning into the actual video footage.
Oh, nice.
So they do that again this year, but like John Cena doesn't talk over it like at all. Like he talks before and after the fights, but he doesn't talk like during it like Ray did last year for whatever reason.
His VO rate was too high.
Possibly. Yeah, he's in Hollywood. But yeah, I mean that was enjoyable. Unlocked all kinds of fun stuff as you go along, and you get it's. People talk about, I do this match like 5-6 times. Like, why? No, literally, I didn't do one thing. From beginning to end, I hit all my points. I hit all my spots. I did all the things I was supposed to do in one shot. Boom, done. Professional. So
you get to unlock Peacemaker, John Cena.
No, unfortunately.
That'd be awesome.
I haven't seen him yet.
I'm sure he's in the created thing.
I'm sure someone can make it happen. People are doing all kinds. People did the Prime bottle already from WrestleMania.
That's awesome.
It looks terrible, but someone did it. I'm
sure it does.
And there's actually like at the
R-Truth in the Prime bottle.
at the end of the showcase, there's like 2 legitimately like laugh out loud moments in there too, which like totally caught me off guard, which is really funny. Very self-aware of both John Cena and like WWE. Like it's very, very good.
Nice.
So I finished that. I did the My Rise now has 2 different storylines. You have the Lock and the Legacy. I think that's what it is. The Lock is like the male is like a male competitor going through the rings, but he's like a blue chipper. Like he's going to be awesome. So basically, his story of him being awesome. I think it's the Legacy is the female version of it. But you're the niece of like a fictional like WWE like legend women's wrestler, like whatever it is. So you're kind of like fighting with like, and you have all kind of options to different choices to make. Like very early on, like in your very introductory match, WWE wants you to wear your aunt's gear, so you can either wear your aunt's gear or be like, no, I'm gonna pave my own path, and you wear your own thing. So like just things like that. That's the crux of the story.
That's neat.
I did that. I did the legend, the Legacy. Well, I think it's called the Legacy. That one got long in the tooth. And at the end, I was like, just get to the end already. But it was like I was like, oh, this is taking forever. Then like there was a turn in the story. I'm like, okay, this is now interesting. And there's like 3 more fights afterwards. So that was fine. I might go back and do the other one because there's a couple unlocks that you get that are like actual like full wrestlers that you unlock. That
nice.
One of them I think would be kind of cool to have. So I did those 2 things. I did a little bit of my GM mode. Big improvements this year in terms of what you can do. You can have like last year's it was 2. You can only have 2 shows, 2 GMs. Mm-hmm. You can only have singles or tag team matches, and you only had like the main championship belt and I think tag team belt for the men's and women's championship belt and tag team belt, and that was it. This time up, you can play up to 4 shows, 4 promotions. They can all be human, but it's all like couch co-op.
Okay.
Which is kind of whatever.
Yeah.
But you can play against like 3 computer people if you want to, and everyone's competing and drafting their own guys and doing the shows. This time they have singles, tag team, triple threat, or 4-way fights.
Oh, nice.
And they have a bunch of options inside of those. Like you can do like Hell in a Cell, you can do cage matches, you can do Falls Count Anywhere, you can do submission matches, and they have different modifiers on them too. So like if you do like say I'm doing Elimination Chamber is a pay-per-view, and I put an Elimination Chamber match in there, like I get an extra bonus for like popularity because I'm doing a Elimination Chamber at Elimination Chamber.
Nice.
There's other ones like
I almost feel like you should be forced to do that.
People do all kinds. Like honestly, the computer guys do whatever the fuck they want all the time. Like they're doing like there's like championship matches like on Thursdays. Like it's just shit's just happening all the time. They have like
title matches on regular TV, the good old days.
I know.
Oh yes.
But it's just like they're a tag team, I guess now. All right, cool, whatever. I was gonna say, and they have like other ones too. Where like, all right, this is a submission match. This submission match is gonna finish your rivalry, but if you do it at like a level 4 rivalry, you can get like way more bonus popularity for this match. But if you do it at level 1, it's not going to be it'll still kill the rivalry. Because that's good. Sometimes you're just like, I don't want to be in this anymore. Okay. Like it'll kill it, but you're not going to get as big of a boost because you didn't like see enough of the rivalry through to whatever. Just a bunch of stuff like that.
Have they made it any more clear if you have a run-in happen, who it's benefiting and who it's hurting?
Yeah, it's
because that was confusing as fucking last year's game.
Yeah, it's like the basically says like who you're attacking now.
Okay.
I don't know. I haven't done a commissioner one yet because I don't know if there's really a benefit to doing it. To be honest, I feel it just pisses the person off, and it's kind of it.
I wouldn't.
But the biggest changes are, like you said, the different types of matches, and there's actually like it doesn't end.
Oh, okay.
The key thing, like they run 25. I think it's 25 week seasons.
Okay.
And in that season, you have like goals, or you're trying to like get a certain amount of money in your bank or a certain amount of fans in your crew or whatever it is, and you're getting Hall of Fame like tokens more or less. And you're trying to get first promotion to get to 10 tokens wins.
Okay.
So and you can still go beyond that if you want to too, if you want to keep it going. But everything else is basically the same. Like you sign guys, you release guys, you put them in matches. They tell you, hey, I want to do a rematch with this guy, or hey, I want to tag team with this guy. And then Triple H comes in and be like, all right, you have to have your least popular giant in this show for reasons I'm not quite sure of. And then we're gonna give you a card if you want to do that. And they have all those kind of things. It's an improvement on it. I haven't gotten too far deep into it, but it's been fun.
Have they added Vince mode where you can rewrite it at the last minute and?
Don't even get me started on that. But I think it was yesterday I finally finished constructing my universe. So I got the shows going. I got the roster. I got a bunch of. I basically, the game came out. I did all this stuff first. I was gone for a week, and when I came back, like, all right, I'm gonna start searching for like guys I want to download.
Yeah.
And it's amazing what these creation people have done in the time period. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So and it's like, I mean, they do like goofy stuff. Like, I don't know why. Like I said, even like if you look at the most popular like superstars downloaded, like Batman's like in the second page. Like, I don't know why. I can't even fathom why anyone would want to do that. But like, there's all kinds of AEW guys in there, and they look amazing.
Nice.
They look amazing. So I got a bunch of them. This roster, by the way, this roster is by far the most accurate roster they've had in years. Because like didn't have like a massive round of layoffs or like
that's true.
Last year's game, like a third of them were like in like AEW at that point.
Yeah.
So like this year is way up to date. They have a ton of wrestlers. All the DLC wrestlers from last year are all in the game. It's just like in the game.
Awesome.
On top of the DLC characters that are coming.
Yeah, right.
I mean that's cool.
DLCs?
It's
This
fine.
year is okay.
Yeah, I mean, you got Zeus in there, so I'm in.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, it's cool that they did that because then you're not just going to get a retread of all the same DLC from last year as DLC this year.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, all those guys are in there, and they obviously had a bunch of people that were like just on the fringe last year that made it into this year.
Right.
Like Solo Sikoa's in it this year. What else was I gonna say?
Cody just missed it last year too. Right?
Cody just missed it last year. Yeah, he's all over this one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I said this on this podcast. It was like they just basically need to make 2K22, but like just stack on top of it, and this is basically what they did. It feels way better in terms of just like moving around the menus. Like 2K22, I thought I was gonna break at any minute. Like it was like I just felt like if I just just like don't delete my universe again,
Scotch
please.
tape.
It feels way better. It's like way more snappier. I still have a couple crashes here and there. They've only really had like 2 kind of updates, but nothing big. It's just like bug fixes and shit like that. Nothing like big yet. What was I gonna say? The new pin mechanic is fine. It's like it's not. It used to be like jamming on the button. Now they have like a bar that goes side to side. You like hit it in the green. I mean, like I have someone pinch right away. The green bar is like gigantic, so you can't miss it.
Can you still win in like 18 seconds with your feet on the ropes?
Oh yeah.
So I definitely did that in a match in last year's game.
Like
just messing around. Like, I kicked him to the
Dirty
ground.
pin.
Let's dirty pin. Oh, the ref didn't see it. Oh, my God, he counted to 3.
Yep. I had a match where like the guy I was pinning reached out for the grab the rope, and the ref didn't see it and counted to 3.
Oh,
and
nice.
that was it.
Nice.
So
That's cool.
they have AI sliders this time around too for like all, and they have AI sliders for like the overall experience. So like you can tell how much like weapon damage, like if a referee gets knocked down, like how long is he down for, and like there's like all those sliders, and then each individual wrestler has sliders too. So like if like I said, I mean I can't tell you how many times last year like, some guys like going to the top rope, like what are you doing? You never do this. And you can like change all those things in there, like move it, knock that stuff down, put it up. If you're in a tag team and you have like good loyalty, and we're in a Royal Rumble together, like they won't fight each other at all, like at all. Like there's like little stuff like that, like little like okay, this is itty bitty little building blocks that are gonna build to something like immense later on. This game is still really good. I still really really like it. I said those couple things along in the tooth. The universe mode still seems like semi-restrictive. Like you can't change 3-person tag team like entrances. Like they just don't do it. Like they're just not doing it.
Okay.
In the main game, you can go into like the tag teams, and they have like factions and tag teams. I think what they call them. It's not factions, but what do they call them? So like the Bloodline's in there, and then the Usos are in there as well. So like the Bloodline has their own entrances, their own like stuff, and then their own like announcer. Like they announce them as the Bloodline, and the Usos announce them as the Usos, and they have their own entrances, things like that. But you go into Universe, it's just the tag teams. So like. There is no Bloodline in there, so you had to like kind of Jimmy rig those things around to make those things work.
Okay.
The new like entrance, like you can really manipulate all the entrance pieces now. Like they have like when fireworks, put fireworks in here, like change the lights here. Like you can do all. They have like I think 5. They have like 5 different stages of it.
Put Zeke's head in here.
Yes. I haven't messed with the videos yet. I think they're the same thing. But you have like 5 different stages of the entrance, whereas this like, you're on the stage, it's your walk down, it's your approaching the ring, and it's your in the ring, and I'm missing something in there. And you can change each one of those things to be like, different superstars or different generics or whatever it is, and you can really put it all together and change the lights and fireworks and displays and all kinds of nonsense. It's pretty crazy.
Nice.
So yeah, I talked a lot about wrestling, but it is definitely an improvement on last year. It is still not like this is the best wrestling game of all time because there's just some restrictive pieces in there that are holding it back, and if they can figure out how to do. So I didn't even mess with the rivalries yet in Universe.
Yeah.
Because I'm still trying to figure out who my champions are and shit like that before I even start any rivalries. So like I didn't even get into that portion yet, but like people are talking about like it's like freezing their games and crashing it and like all kinds of stuff. So I'm a little worried about that. But like if they can figure out how to get like promos in there too, because that was in 2K18, I think, maybe 19. 20 was a disastrous one, right?
20.
Yeah, because there's no 21.
Yes.
Not 20 was the disaster.
20. Okay, 19. You could in their universe mode, you can do like promos and stuff like that in between matches.
Okay.
Like they took that out for whatever reason.
That's what broke the game.
Maybe.
Listen, you can have promos in between matches, or you can have a working game.
No, the opposite. Promos
Yeah.
need to be there before the or
Yeah,
they
exactly.
took it out and it doesn't work anymore.
Last thing I'll say on this, let's talk about like self-aware stuff. Like there's a lot of stuff in this game that's very self-aware, which I very much so appreciate. In the My Rise mode, at one point, like one of your little side missions is to do mocap for a wrestling game, the new the 2K wrestling game.
Okay.
And the guys is talking shit. Like they're like, all right, do this move. Oh god, I guess we'll use that one. It's like stuff like that.
Yeah, okay.
And you're like this is
Nice.
and all off to the side. This is the roughest mocap session to 2K20. Woof. like, all right, good for you guys.
Oh, that's awesome. That's cool.
All right, I've talked. Any questions about wrestling? Have I not talked enough about it?
Or just sticking to video games?
Yeah, I could talk about regular wrestling too. What do you want to talk about?
Nothing.
All right.
Fucking Vince.
Well, I want to talk about the collective temper tantrum on the internet.
Okay, real quick. I don't mind Cody losing because I think that's.
I don't either.
I think that's super.
I think it was fine.
I think it's super interesting. It's just like because
Yeah,
everyone was convinced he was going to win.
Well, here's
everyone
the
was
thing, too.
convinced he was going to win.
Everyone's used to storylines ending at WrestleMania.
Yes.
And this
Right.
one's just starting after it had only 3 weeks of build-up.
Right.
Well, but yeah, because they had so much of the Zayn and
Right.
KO stuff up to this point that they had to like, which that was awesome by the way.
Oh,
like,
that whole match.
that whole thing. Sami
Zayn
Zayn is so good. He is just like he has
He's
all
so
those.
insane.
Oh my! He's like a skinny McFoley.
Yeah,
He just but he gets it and like that moment right before on SmackDown or Raw where like KO finally hugged him and he coming out and like Zayn took a couple steps back like I don't like it was like it's brilliant. There's little shit like that is just brilliant. Like he so gets it. It's just so good. Yeah, that stuff was great with him losing the Usos losing things like that. And I Cody Rhodes like now it's just like fucking who right? I mean like
Still gonna be Cody.
I think
Long term, it's going to be Cody.
Like
eventually.
Like someone made a good point. Is like that Roman's started at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
So now Cody's gonna finish him at SummerSlam. Like,
Yeah, I was talking to Matt about it because he's like, well, no, he's in it for the night. He was in it until the whole Vince stuff happened again. But
I watched Raw for the first time in 20 years.
Well, that was your
and you saw like the worst. Dude, you saw like the worst Raw in like 10 years.
It was awful.
Oh, God.
Awful.
Anyway, I watched. The only reason I even watch it every once in a while, I've been watching it for probably like the last like 6 months.
Yeah.
Only because I'm in front of a TV, like most of my day at work. Otherwise, I wouldn't watch it. Anyway,
I super enjoyed WrestleMania.
Yes.
So I was like, let me
let's get in.
Let's see where they're gonna go with the rest of this. Like,
what has to happen is like the Usos lost the belt. Lost their tag team belts finally. So I think like they ultimately had to be like don't want to deal with Roman's bullshit anymore.
Yeah.
Roman stopped Solo from fighting Cody a couple weeks prior. He's like, no, it's like calling him off, like holding him back. And that's their younger brother, if I'm understanding how the bloodline works correctly. So like I think if the Usos can be like, I'm done with this shit, hey little brother, come with us, we're done. And then like whoever Roman Reigns is fighting at that point, like all those guys are all on the outside and they don't come in and help him, and that's when he finally loses. Yeah. So like I think that he loses the bloodline, he loses the belt, he loses everything all in one fell swoop. I think is the way it's going to go ultimately.
that would be pretty awesome. I'm in for it.
What's coming out the next couple of weeks, Nick?
All right.
And that's been our wrestling podcast.
So we could start one.
Don't even, dude. Do not tempt me with a good time.
Yeah. April 7th. EA Sports PGA Tour PC, PS5, and Xbox X/S.
I feel like this out now if you buy like the super duper edition.
Yeah, like that. Well, yeah. So this is like
You get 4 days early access.
yeah, exactly. The usual EA stuff.
You mean like I did for wrestling?
Yeah, it's fine. You mean like I'm probably going to do for Diablo? Because these goons are?
That's what we're doing for Diablo. Yeah.
I swear to God, last thing. So like I downloaded it. It took like an hour to whatever it was to get it downloaded. Very first thing I did, this is out of curiosity. I go right to the creation suite and see how many pages of wrestlers there were.
Oh, God.
There's already like 300 pages of wrestlers. Like it just came out. I mean, they had like influencers until they got it early. It was like, God.
Well, I'm sure if people found a way to like export their 2K2 and just
also
put it in there.
There's no way to transport that shit.
Well, that's crazy.
Do you know
because they have so many the roster switch over it's so crazy.
Okay, that's a good point.
Do you know
good point.
is that game on PC?
Yeah.
Is the creator wrestler shared across all platforms?
I don't think so because I guess no that would be modifications. Yeah, it probably is.
Because I mean on PC I imagine you can if you had the characters from last year you can just punch in numbers and recreate pretty quickly.
Yeah, that's true.
But, yeah, the still at the top downloaded guy is three of them. It's Dominic Mysterio in his Judgment Day stuff. It is Mandy Rose.
Okay.
Because she's basically in the game.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
Completely. Like like everything's in the game.
Yeah.
Like all of her motions,
Yeah.
everything's in the game. They just like,
It's one of those she was in there and they fired her and took it out.
Right.
And MJF is there from AEW. And he's like fucking perfect in that game. Like
nice.
he is amazing. Anyway, go ahead.
Let's see here. April 11th, Tron Identity for PC and Switch.
Tron Identity.
April 12th, Ghostwire Tokyo is making its way over to the Xbox X and S.
On Game Pass, right?
On Game Pass. Oh, yes. Probably be playing through it again. April 14th, Mega Man Network Legacy Collection for PC, Switch, and PS4. Are you going to try that?
I don't know. I mean, I didn't have
every time we bring it up, you always go back and forth. You're not sure.
I never played any of those games. I never had a Game Boy. So I mean, there's a lot of game there.
It's a lot of game.
And they have they do like the Pokemon thing, where it's like two different versions of the same game.
Yep.
I don't know. I still get those I bought the ZX collection because I never played any of those either.
Yeah.
So I haven't touched it. I don't know.
I forgot about
Got a lot going on. I still got to play Resident Evil 4. It's like one of my favorite games of all time.
Dude. Yeah.
I know.
The amount of there's a couple games I know that I barely put anything in that I didn't even talk about because I was like I barely put anything into it. I'm not talking about that yet. And then finally April 18th, Minecraft Legends, PC, Switch, PS4, PS5, and Xbox/Game Pass.
That seems like it'd be a good time if you can dedicate like some time and have like some dedicated people along with you to do it too.
Yes, no, 100%. I'm sure it's gonna go. People are gonna play the hell out of that game. It seems more Minecrafty than like Dungeons did.
Oh yeah.
So I think Minecraft people are super gonna get into this one. Your PlayStation Plus games for April. Yeah. April. Yeah. Meet Your Maker, PS4 and PS5. Sackboy, A Big Adventure, PS4 and PS5.
It's a fun game. Go play that one.
Very fun. Very good. And there's a ton of free costumes. So
every month, pretty much. Since it's been out.
Tons of stuff. And Tale of Iron for PS4 and PS5. So we do not have the extra and premium games for April yet.
Middle of the month.
However, I will go through the ones that were added in March really quick here. Someone help me pronounce this one. That one that's day one. That Hawaiian one.
Chia.
Chia. Is this one the T silent?
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of. Chia.
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 Cha.
Chia. So Chia. I turned it on for like 3 minutes, and I was just like, not right now. Like this is
I'm not in the mood for this.
This is not not right now.
Speaking of not in the mood for this, did any of you guys watch the Tears of the Kingdom stuff for Zelda?
No.
Oh, I did. I did watch.
I watched to the point where I saw Weapon Break and I was out.
I kept watching, so I was just like, well, all right. I kind of anticipated that happening, so let me just keep going. And then I saw that you have to craft in order to continue, and I was like, I'm done. I'm done.
There's no more collective dislike for Breath of the Wild than R3 than this podcast. There's no other podcast out there that dislikes that game, much as we do. There's just not one.
It's true.
probably accurate.
Yeah.
Seriously.
It really is.
I mean,
It really is.
it's a broad sweeping statement, but it's probably accurate.
Honestly, maybe every podcast has that one person that like.
I
know
know,
what I mean?
but
not
yeah,
even,
there was
not
there was
like-
one guy. I think he works at IGN and talks about how it's like he thinks like it's a totally okay like middling game.
Yeah.
And that's like that's the only guy I know from like a major outlet that like really dislikes
So
it.
something- yeah.
Like I know people are like it's not my cup of tea or whatever it is. Like I actually dislike the game.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you have not only do you dislike the game, but you dislike the fact that it took away from a Zelda experience you probably could have enjoyed because you like
Yes.
the Zelda games.
Yeah.
100%. And this is Zelda we're gonna get forever now.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's
right.
I
know.
It's Steak on Twitter. You posted. You're like, man, can't we just get back to old Zelda games? Like this is Zelda
This is
games
it.
now.
I know.
I'm never gonna get a Wind Waker 2 or Wind
No.
Waker
I'll say,
another one like
Can
that.
you give me my Wind Waker Twilight Princess like HD collections on Switch?
I would
so I
say
can go back and
you
play those?
you might get something like that,
Give me
but
that,
that's all
please.
you're getting. You're not getting a
or,
new.
or give me a new game in the Link's Awakening engine. Like
down with
where
that.
is that?
That
like
was-
come on.
Link's Awakening was so much
That I'll play. Like there you go. That's perfect because then both worlds get what they want.
You're not getting a new game in that engine.
Both worlds get what they want.
not happening.
Hey, they're doing it for Metroid right now.
I know.
All right, we got Prime and we got Dread, so we got our 2D and our first person.
Yeah, can you let's remake Ocarina of Time and like for real remake
Oh my
it.
god, that'd be ridiculous.
It will be remade in the Breath of the Wild engine.
Moving on.
The castle's already there.
Now I'm just chucking gas cans on the fire here.
Uncharted Legacy of Thieves Collection, Rainbow Six Extraction, Ghostwire Tokyo.
What's this list we're going through?
This is the March PlayStation Extra and Premium
okay.
because we do not have the April one yet. It's not out yet. Life is Strange: True Colors, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, which is only the PS4 version, not PS5.
Weird.
Immortals: Phoenix Rising, Life is Strange 2, Street Fighter V Championship Edition, Untitled Goose Game, Final Fantasy Type 0 HD, Rage 2, Neo: The World Ends With You, Haven, and then
That's one I miss when I was on Game Pass.
Haven?
Yeah, that one is like that looks like up my alley. So I don't want to miss it again. So I definitely need to play that one.
And then premium games added: Ridge Racer Type 4 for PS1, Ape Academy 2 for PSP, and Siphon Filter Dark Mirror PSP.
That's a good one.
Which I think that gives us all except for the PS2 Siphon Filter now on there.
I
on
think
that
you're
service,
correct.
if you have premium. And then your Xbox Game Pass games. There is a bunch that came out, but
Yep.
I am going reset. So available right now: Loop Hero console and PC.
That one I remember talking about when it came out.
It looked cool as hell.
Yeah.
like roguelike.
Yeah,
but
like not really. It's
but
like,
not really. Yeah,
It looks like it's like you kind of like just set up and it goes.
yeah. Well, I didn't know. I think this is the release of it on Xbox as well, on
Correct.
top of Game Pass. Yeah, so it's been on all the other systems. This is finally a release on Xbox, straight to Game Pass. This is an interesting one. Iron Brigade, cloud and console on April 6th.
Which is a Double Fine game.
The Double Fine game, and it's been delisted. So you can't even buy the game. You can only play it on Game Pass.
There's some weird shit going on because they also taken Quantum Break off of
That one, they
It's a-
made a
They're having,
statement.
like-
Yeah, they made a
that's what I'm
statement on
saying.
that one.
Yeah.
So they're having some weird. I don't know. Some weird shit's going on.
That one, yeah, they pulled that down for a few days, and then finally Xbox came out and said it's because of licensing.
Yeah,
on
I know.
some-
I actually started playing it again. And then,
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then they said that, and I was like, oh, okay, well, I'll get back to it.
Oh, it'll be back.
Not so much. I don't have a 2-week rush anymore. Okay.
That's what
well,
I-
when it comes back.
Yeah, I was felt that Chinatown Detective Agency just got
Oh,
taken
that's
off. I
gone.
want to play that, and I just didn't
Yeah.
get a chance to do it.
Like we mentioned before, Ghostwire Tokyo, Cloud, PC, and Xbox Series XS, April 12th. NHL 23, courtesy of EA Play on console, April 13th. And then Minecraft Legends, like we said, Cloud, console, and PC. Leaving April 15th, Life is Strange 2 Colors,
Go play that before it goes away. Great game.
Moonglow Bay, Panzer Corps 2.
Those are terrible games.
Probably,
I don't know. I've never
I'm
played that. I have no
assuming.
idea.
Rainbow Six Extraction, The Dungeon of Nehubek.
Nailed it.
I think I did. Didn't I?
I think you did. You, dude.
Oh, man.
you were confident, and I
I
believed you.
was. Thank you, Booze. The long dark, and the Rift Breaker. I think it's kind of funny that Life is Strange True Colors and Rainbow Six Extraction are leaving here.
Yep.
But they just joined Extra.
That can't be a coincidence.
No, God no. Especially Life is Strange because that's Square Enix. So there's that, and then the other one being Ubisoft. There's been those rumors for a long time about some kind of collaboration with Ubisoft and Sony. So who knows? But
Pick a better game to collaborate on.
Extra.
It's time for the news.
News.
Only 2 items.
2 items on the news.
So the first one, this is from InsiderGaming.com, courtesy of Myke.
Yeah, I wrote this.
No, you passed it along.
Pass it along.
Tom Henderson wrote it.
That's my pen name.
Get a better pen name, man. Come on.
No.
Gotta make it more juvenile. Following days of speculation, Insider Gaming can report there's a new PlayStation handheld in development. Codenamed the Q-Lite, the next PlayStation handheld is the next piece of Sony hardware that aims to be yet another piece of hardware that requires the PlayStation 5. Insider Gaming understands the Q-Lite is not a cloud streaming device, but instead uses remote play with the PlayStation 5, a feature the console giant has been pushing the past couple weeks. As far as specs, it's supposed to stream in 1080p, 60 frames per second. Device will require constant connectivity to the internet. As far as physical features, early prototypes show it looks a lot like a PS5 controller, but with an 8-inch LCD touchscreen in the center. Device supports adaptive triggers for haptic feedback and will include what you would come to expect from a handheld: volume buttons, speakers, an audio input jack, etc. It's currently in the QA phase. It's scheduled to release before a PS5 Pro and after the detachable disk drive PS5.
So spring, basically 24 is kind of probably
That sounds about right.
because I'm assuming fall will be the discless, and then PS5 Pro will be next holiday.
Yeah,
so
so
I'm thinking spring then probably
that's
for this.
Pretty much the gist of that.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to talk about this because it's like I don't get it.
What a letdown.
And I want
Huge.
Okay, but do we think that this is it?
As far as handheld,
Yeah, I know. In terms of just like, do we think it's only a remote play device? Who is it? Who was it before?
I don't
That's
know.
the thing. See, and that's the thing because honestly, and that's the main thing too is so remote play, like remote play in your own home, most of the time works pretty decent. I
I don't know. It worked like shit on my Vita to PS4.
Okay.
I had good
In
luck with
current
that.
generations of hardware, during my COVID stint, I did all kinds of remote play with both Xbox and PlayStation,
Yeah.
and honestly, they both worked great.
Yeah.
And I had to use a third-party app
Right.
to get it to work because
The PlayStation one,
the
right?
PlayStation
Yeah,
one,
yeah,
because you
yeah.
had to use a DualShock 4 or a DualSense
Correct.
on the official one,
Right.
But I use the third-party one, paid like $3, and it worked beautifully. Mm-hmm. That all worked great. I didn't
Yeah.
honestly didn't even notice I was like doing remote play. That's how well it was working. But when I tried to do remote play when I was in the hotel in Canada,
Yeah, trash.
garbage.
Trash. It's absolutely
Hot
terrible.
garbage.
Terrible. And that's the thing. And it's just like, I mean, it's a handheld. It's a handheld. I don't want it to be online all the time. It has to be online.
Well, like, let's just say that this, for the sake of argument, the hardware specs here are not built to natively run a game. Let's just,
Yeah.
devil's advocate.
yeah, let's just throw that out there as part of it. I don't understand the purpose of putting something like this out without being able to do cloud streaming over, the PlayStation Plus
Yeah.
extra or
Yeah.
premium or
That's
whatever.
That's
Yeah.
kind of what I'm getting at. It's just like it seems like for such a specific user that doesn't make sense to make
No.
at all. But it sounds like they're kind of far down the pipeline on this thing.
Right.
I mean, who,
But, like-
who thought this was a good idea? If this is all accurate,
Yes.
Right.
Now, granted, none of this has been announced by Sony. This is all, insider reporting type stuff.
And then Insider Gaming, I will say, he is very. They know shit. They know their
Tom
shit.
Henderson usually has his stuff together.
Yes,
Yeah.
I do.
But yeah, this is one of those things like, I wish I could have just been like the catering guy in the boardroom while they're saying that. I'd be like, why do you guys think this is a good idea? Why do you have this singular focus that is like,
Yeah.
has to be the most minimalist use case in your ecosystem?
Yeah.
Like, I can't think there's that many people remote playing compared to like every other way to play.
Like literally, if it was like, okay, I don't even know how to like quantify this, but like, if it was just like, all right, PS5 remote play only, but you can download PlayStation 4 games on it. I think that's a completely different level of user there, because that would still be great. Like if you can like download PlayStation 4 games on there.
As long as they can launch the games without internet.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
I think there needs to be some type of that kind of aspect on this. It can't always be online.
Yeah, what's the point of being mobile handheld?
Right.
Why is it any different than the phone I have in my hand right now?
Because your phone's always online.
Okay, yeah, I guess. But like, again, I would talk about the backbone. Like, I can buy a backbone for $100 and have the same experience.
Right
now.
Yep.
Because I don't see a way that this new device is $100.
No.
Oh God,
no.
It's gonna have a screen. I mean,
right.
Screen
that's what I'm saying.
So the screen itself, right there, you're thinking like $300.
A screen
because of the screen.
Yeah, a screen, a battery, and
now we're talking,
and haptic. All the dual sense.
Now we're essentially talking about what we're doing is we're getting rid of the touchpad.
Yeah.
Right, and then we're making it into a switch where we've got the other two hands on the controller on each side of this giant screen, and with I'm going to guarantee maybe 2 to 3 hour battery life.
Well, maybe
because it's Sony, because they just hate battery life, and there's no way. Minimum, I have to say is $300 minimum.
I think so
for something
too.
like that. Especially with 8-inch OLED.
Yeah,
minimum.
100% agree. So that's what I'm saying. It's just like
that's crazy.
I can't fathom anybody who would want this. Like I'm literally trying to figure out a user case. Unless it's just like I don't want my kid to have a phone, but I can give him a $350.
Well, yeah,
I guess
Wii U tablet
if
whatever.
If this thing's, let's just say, on the low end, $300, I can spend another $100 and go get a Steam Deck, and they probably have an app that I can remote play my PlayStation with.
You definitely can.
Yeah, right. Plus all this other stuff.
Yeah, right.
Plus Steam, plus Xbox Game Pass
plus
Cloud.
Game Pass on there too. Right.
Plus, you can load the Epic Store on there if you want. I think there's a way to stream games from your Xbox console on it. I mean, I can pay $100 more and get a device that does everything.
Yep. I was saying, there's a lot of people that are doing that too. Yeah, where they get the Xbox app added on, and then they so you stream from your actual console,
right?
Too, and stuff. Yeah, it's I don't know. This just doesn't make any sense at all.
I think I've wrapped my mind around the discless thing, because it's not like, I think it's literally just a way to have one console SKU.
Right. Whatever.
You know what I mean? So everyone buys that console, and if you want a disc drive, you buy the disc drive, as opposed to having a disc and a disc version.
I actually think that's a fantastic idea.
Honestly, I do too.
I have no gripes with that. The first time I read it, I'm like, that's kind of brilliant. You have one console. If you want discs, you pay whatever $100 for a disc drive. That makes total sense.
Glad mine's all in one.
Me too.
If I have an option, me too. Now, if I can I plug in the disc drive to this new portable thing?
I mean,
no, I'm talking stupid over here. I'm not.
You might be able to, but you can't play games locally. So
I was gonna say, no.
If you want to play some DVDs on your screen, yeah, I don't know. And they also talked about there's also the first mention of a PS. The other reason I want to talk about this is also this is the first kind of mention of a PS5 Pro.
You're right. Which, I mean, there was a small rumor a little earlier in the year, but yeah, this is the first time where now it's like, okay, maybe this actually is a thing. Which, if that's the case, and it's coming holiday next year, man, that's crazy. Only because people are just now getting their PS5.
Yeah, if this was like a normal console launch, it's like 3. Yeah. No, it ends up being 4 years. Yeah, exactly.
Basically, yeah.
That feels normal, right?
Yeah. But it's not been we haven't since. This is the first time that it's regularly in stores. In
there has been
retail.
a God of War Ragnarok PS5 in the Meyer case for months.
Yeah.
It's like, someone buy this damn thing.
The Walmart here is stocked with them. With them. They've got that. They've got Series X's. They've got
I walked into
OLEDs.
Went to Costco the other day. They had a pallet full of PS5s.
It's beautiful. Oh, but speaking of hardware stuff, I just thought of this right now. So I wasn't aware of this, but like, like the Xbox memory cards.
Yeah.
They have like third-party ones from like Western Digital and shit like that.
Now they
the
do.
first one.
They're just coming
Yeah.
out.
It just starting. Yeah.
And they're like cheaper.
So
Yeah, that's
cheaper, quote unquote. Like it's crazy, but that's insane
so. What you're
too.
telling me is that Microsoft negotiated some exclusivity with Seagate for the
Western
drives. No, Seagate was the provider before these Western Digital ones
yeah,
came out.
yeah.
Oh, yes,
for
yes,
2
yes.
years or
For
whatever.
2 years, right? Yep.
And now Western Digital can put one out, and they're significantly cheaper.
Yeah, it's like $50 cheaper. It's still too expensive, way too expensive. I finally upgraded my PS5. I got a 2 terabyte.
Nice.
Amazon had an awesome deal.
Yeah.
2 terabyte with a heatsink. I think I paid $136 for
That's
it.
really good.
I mean, and that 1 terabyte from Western Digital is still $180.
Yes.
Yeah, because
Like
I still
for
got the
1 terabyte.
stupid fucking proprietary
I know.
form
It's
factor
like
and
that-
connector.
Yeah, it's that right.
Whereas
exactly.
for all Sony has their own mess with proprietary shit.
Sure.
And the mess with all the you can't use PS4 peripherals for PS5 games.
Right.
For all their shortcomings in that, for the last 2 generations, shit, for the last 3 generations,
This is PS3,
they've nailed the ability to upgrade your storage.
100%.
You can go to the
100%.
store. With PS5, it was a little kludgy at first. They're like, you need very specific requirements.
Yeah.
But once
Didn't take long though.
once
But now
those-
we're all there.
Once those drives
Yeah.
became, once they enabled it in the firmware, and once the drives became more readily available, they're like, here's the specs you need to meet. Here's our recommended one. Here's some other brands.
Yep.
And they let you go out. You go out, pick your brand, pick your size, pop it the fuck in there.
Yep.
It's good to go.
100%. And it was super freaking easy to do.
Dude, the hardest thing was taking that damn faceplate off.
Oh
Yeah.
my god! I was afraid I was gonna crack it. I was like, please don't
I was
crack.
saying, I didn't have a problem with that for upgrading the drive just because I'd done it before they switched the plates out.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, the first I was like, oh,
The first-
oh man.
The first time I did it, I was like, I'm pulling really hard at this goddamn thing.
I watched a video of a guy doing it,
I was like,
and he
it's so
broke
easy.
it. No, and the guy
Oh,
broke it. Like
God.
he was.
Oh, the video I
It
watched
was a
was
video.
super easy.
The video I watched of the guy like swapping out memory. I was like
God.
I was watching step by
Oh,
step,
my
and he was like, you can hear the thing crack, and he said like, oh, I cracked it. Like, oh shit, okay.
God. Well, and it sucks because like I put it in, and then I'm sure it would have been fine, but my heatsink came with these 2 like silicone like rings to like keep it in, like basically you put it around it to kind of keep it on there in place. Well, I forgot to put those on after I popped it all back together, and I was like, fuck. I'm like, do I need? I'm like, no. You spent the money. Do it. Like it's here. It's disconnected. Do it. And like, so I had to take it off again.
Yeah.
I was like, oh god.
I was saying a few weeks back, I have the drive I have is a Samsung 980 Pro something.
Yeah, I think the same one I got.
And I saw something online that was like, hey, there's a firmware problem with these where if you don't upgrade the firmware, it could die a lot sooner than it's supposed
Yeah.
to. So I'm like, son of a bitch.
So how do you? So I saw that too with those because like, and I went with a different one, which at the time was fine because that was the slightly cheaper one. And it basically was comparable. But like how do you upgrade those? Like that?
You gotta pull it out and hook up to a fucking computer.
So if you don't have a computer, you're fucked. Like basically.
Oh, wait,
pretty
to
much.
hook it up to your computer.
You unhook it and you bring it over to my house.
I don't remember. Actually, I don't remember which one I bought. I'm gonna look it up my like Best Buy like product history.
I think
I remember it was the
if you
Samsung
go
one.
into like the menu, it tells you like
Okay.
the brand
It
and
does.
model.
If you go into like it'll tell you.
If you have a Samsung one that needs to be upgraded, bring it out.
Is
to
it
my
the one
house
that
somewhere.
has like a black housing around it?
Yes.
They don't.
Well,
that one I don't think
most
I have.
of them do.
I don't
Most
think.
of
Yeah,
them
I
do.
mean,
I'll look it up.
both Samsung and Western Digital have the black heatsink around them.
Yeah.
I have to look.
Look it up. Let me know.
I will.
But yeah, basically you have to take it. You have to get. If you can find a USB adapter that works for it, great. I had to buy like an internal card to plug it into and plug it in my computer. And then Samsung has an app to do a firmware upgrade.
Oh, okay.
I didn't lose any of my data, which is
All right.
That's good.
they tell you like
That's a plus.
they tell you like back your shit up before you do a firmware upgrade
Yeah.
because if things go south.
Sure.
But I was able to upgrade it and pop it right back in my PlayStation. It was
Okay.
fine, but
Ugh. Remember when things just worked?
yeah.
Well, it's,
No.
To me, it's
Actually, I don't. I don't
It's
nothing
insane
ever
that like think because like this is my first experience with like that the whole M2 drives and stuff like that. So it's like it's kind of wild. It's like these have firmware updates. What?
Yeah,
So, like,
right?
This is kind of weird. It's I mean, And I see people getting snotty with other people when they call them hard drives online. Like I get it, it's not. But
Who
it's
cares?
like,
whatever.
Same idea.
Stop.
Who cares?
It's the same idea. Like it's okay.
You know
But, like,
exactly
This
what they're fucking
tissue is in
talking about.
Kleenex brand. Shut up. Shut the fuck
Right.
up.
But essentially, like I can't remember the last time. Like I don't ever remember like hard drives having like firmware updates.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Like and being crucial, like
Yeah.
kind of thing.
I'll say they've been around for a long
But-
time, but yeah, it hasn't been stuff like this where it's like,
Hey,
if you don't
do
upgrade it, your drive's gonna die, and like 10% of the time it should last for.
It's so wild.
I have to do it tomorrow.
But getting back on topic, you're talking about PlayStation hardware, and I'm not I'm not shocked to hear them talk about a PS5 Pro, but I am shocked to hear about it because I don't feel like we've had many games that are like this is a next gen experience, and it's been held back by the fact that we're just now getting to the point where games are PS5 only,
Right.
I was
and even
just getting to that.
and yeah, and I mean even on Xbox, it's are they still claiming you could play any game anywhere? I know Series S and X you have to be able to play on both, but when everything launched, they said all games are going to be able to play on your
That
one,
wasn't
your
even
series.
true. Like the medium, you can only play on Series X and
Yeah,
S.
because the medium you can only play on Series X. So yeah,
I mean-
so that. Well, but no,
I do remember them saying that though.
I was like, this is the shit they were saying when they
them
announced them.
saying that though, because what they're saying though is
It was with the
that
cloud streaming.
cloud streaming on your.
Oh, yeah,
You could
okay.
cloud
But could you
stream
stream
Series
games
X
like the
game on
medium?
that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you could.
Yes. So if you have a 1, you can cloud stream the Series X games. Like
Okay.
if it's on Game Pass, I believe.
Yeah,
I
that
don't
makes
think-
sense.
Like if it's not like the medium, you could cloud stream it.
Yeah, but
there.
like I said, like I haven't played a game yet that I've been blown away by. Like, I'll take it back. God of War was pretty cool when I played of it before my child ruined my fucking life. But like most of the games, I'm like, this is a shinier version of what I could have played on my PS4.
Yeah.
So I'm still waiting to be blown away by something next gen. And I mean, is the graphics really what's holding these games back? I don't think it is.
No,
I think they've been worried about sales with not having the new consoles out there.
Yeah, and so like now they're getting to a point consoles are available,
Yeah.
and I mean the next big games are Spider-Man
That's
and
that's the one I really want to see. I really want to see Spider-Man in action, and I'm looking forward to June. I want to see because the little glimpse they showed looked like a big improvement. I want to see Starfield in action.
Oh yeah,
because that little glimpse that they gave us, like announcing that showcase that's coming in June.
Yeah.
It at least, like I said, it was brief and quick, but it looked way better than the last time they showed it, in my opinion. Like so I want to see that more in action now. I think I don't know if it'll still technically be as next gen as we think, but
Have they announced that's only series
I think so.
console
I don't
playable?
think they've actually said. I don't think they've.
They haven't said a whole lot of anything about Starfield,
that's
to
what
be
I'm
honest.
saying. I think we'll find out June 11th for sure. But I
sure hope so.
I'm assuming it's Series XS only and PC. I am assuming, but we'll see.
I mean, I hope so.
I hope
Even that game is so far outside of my wheelhouse, but I hope it's what everyone's been hyping up in their minds for the last 5 years since it was first announced.
Well, it won't be because people are crazy. It won't be that crazy.
Also, with it being like the first Bethesda RPG coming out since Microsoft acquired them, I want to see how much of the old Bethesda
is there
fucking not even like content, like the bugginess of their games.
Yeah.
Jank, that's the word I was looking for.
Part of the Bethesda jank is part of its charm.
Well, that's true.
But
In some aspects.
unless it breaks everything,
Yeah.
Yeah, right,
and
right.
then
It's
that's
part
not
of the
charming
Madden.
at all.
That's part of the Madden
Yeah.
charm too.
That's not charming at all. No, that's not charming at all in Madden. But
Well,
it's like,
the Fallouts. Like they had their issues, but it didn't necessarily break.
Yeah.
like it
Right.
works.
not like Skyrim on PlayStation 3. They got worse as it went along.
Yeah,
That broke
that's
that
true.
game.
Yeah.
That's not fun, jank. That's bad jank. Yeah, I think I don't know. I still I don't know. I can wrap my mind around a lot of things from business wise when it comes to, especially to hardware, but this thing doesn't make any goddamn sense to me
Yeah.
at all. This
I will gladly take a new PlayStation handheld, just not this.
well, so I,
If it was a legit handheld that
That's
I
what
can
I'm
go
saying.
buy
Even
and
a
install
legit
games
if
on,
I could just download You can.
I was just going to say PS4.
If I can download PS4 games,
there's so many PS4 games I never touched
and remote,
or
yes,
have still.
100%.
Absolutely.
I am unbelievably. That would be great. But like, they're not. I don't think they're going to make any dedicated software for this thing. Like, I think they're past that.
Fine.
Which is fine.
I mean, even like I can understand this more so from the perspective if it had the cloud streaming. Of the perspective of we want more people in our ecosystem.
Yep.
Playing these, going for PlayStation Plus extra premium so they can stream the games, have them on the go.
That was the second point I was going to make. Is this like PlayStation 4 games that you can download on there and stream and cloud stream PS5 games, and then remote play. They're your trifecta of things that make sense on something like this.
Well, and then you get your extra premium subscriptions because of that, and then also make it to how the Switch works with their legacy stuff. Where sure you got to connect to the internet like once every so many days, and then it's like cool, and now I can download all these PS4 games on here, and I can just play them like on the road. Like that would be. Let me just do that. Like you said, let me just do that, and I'll gladly hand over my $300.
That's completely. That is a completely different story.
100%, I will.
What else you got?
I got my Steam Deck. I'm good.
That too. It's just like. You can see I'm putting Vita in this timeline. It goes Vita, then Switch, Steam Deck, and then this thing. So like,
one of these things is not like the other.
One of these things is not like the other.
Right.
One of these things does not belong.
That's right.
I guess you can see like the progression up, and then there's this thing that's like, what do?
It's just floating.
Yeah, it's just
floating.
It's that little dot off to the side. Like, what the fuck is that?
What the fuck?
We're gonna delete that dot.
That guy. Wouldn't worry about that little guy.
Hey, what else you got, Art?
Last one, big one. ESA has announced they are canceling E3 this year.
This year.
They announced it over email. The email stated that while E3 remains a beloved event and brand, that the 2023 version simply did not garner the sustained interest necessary to execute it in a way that would showcase the size, strength, and impact of our industry.
So, the
email did not mention undertaking the show again in future years.
Exactly, that was exactly what I was going to say. And that is a different tone than they have taken in previous ones where they canceled it or went digital or whatever the fuck that they've been trying to do for the last 4 years at this point, right? So like they talk about, we'll be back next year. We're doing and next year. There's no talk about next year in this whatsoever.
No. It is officially.
Yeah, I think there's E3 as we know it is gone. It's gone. It's done. For better or for worse.
It's sad.
It is sad. It is sad, and it's like the second. I mean, the only way. It's totally sad, and Jeff Keighley's Summer Game Fest.
Yeah.
Yes.
Summer Game Fest. Yeah.
Is like what E3 should have turned into.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A more digital, more of a brand as opposed to like an event. Like you put the Summer Game E3 tagging on, this is Microsoft Showcase brought to you by E3 and whatever,
right,
or wherever it is, like part of E3
Mountain
weekend
Dew.
or Pitch Black Mountain Dew. So it's
I love Pitch Black.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
It's so very good.
Oh, Cinnamon
TurboTax.
Mike's Harder Lemonade.
That's an awesome match.
Oh, it was so good.
Oh God, they just beat the fuck out of each other. Anyway, so what the fuck was I talking about?
E3.
Oh, E3. So yeah, I mean, so like obviously Keighley had a vision for this thing, and that's where he is at this point. Like he has taken up that mantle of just like, all right, I can show game. Like other companies can be like, they can show games here. Xbox will show up and fucking show the Series X for the first time ever at a Keighley event.
Right.
It's like, it's not just like indies and AAA. It's indies, AAA, hardware manufacturers, the big boys, Sony, and Nintendo really doesn't have a big presence at Summer Games Fest because Nintendo is off. Again, Nintendo's also that little dot off to the side doing their own little thing. And E3 has had none of that. Like their biggest company that was attached to their E3 this year was Ubisoft.
Yeah.
And they dropped out before the announcement.
And Ubisoft's a fucking mess.
Yeah.
So like, it's like even like this mess of a company can't figure out how to garner enough interest to like show their games off at like E3.
Ubisoft's so. I don't know what is going on over there.
I just want Devolver to still show up in their parking lot.
Devolver said they weren't doing their parking lot thing.
I don't believe them.
These are like all the announcements that came out like in the lead up to.
I don't believe them.
I would not. It's Devolver. I still would not
Yeah.
believe it. I still may do it.
Devolver said they were still planning on doing like their video presentation like they always do, but they weren't doing the parking lot thing.
I totally hit Lucy with a check a look recently. Just check a look. That's so stupid.
It's so good though.
Oh, it's great.
So good.
And it just keeps spiraling and spiraling and spiraling.
Well, it's like I think part of this too, like you mentioned the Summer Games Fest and how it's kind of picked up the mantle. Like the whole COVID thing was like an inflection point for these types of events.
Yeah.
And Keeley had the foresight to push for virtual, digital. In that time space, everyone had to because nobody was getting together for COVID.
Yeah.
And E3 doubled down on not only are we going to keep doing in person, we're going to start bringing in fans, which I don't think anyone from the media or the publishers enjoyed.
That was a terrible decision.
And like I don't get why they started doing that. Like E3 is like it's an association that represents all the publishers.
Right.
All the big publishers are part of the ESA. Like at no point was it ever created to be a profit making entity.
And like I think it was Glenn Schofield said this, the director of Striking Distance, Clips of Protocol, previously Dead Space, all that guy talked about like what E3 was to him as like a big time like developer was it was a chance for him to play the competition. It was a chance for him to play other people's ideas and other companies' games,
Sure,
and then talk about it.
Right.
Like then they would play his game, and then they would talk about it, and they would bring that back to their team and do those type of things. Like that's not a thing that happens anymore now because it's like you couldn't even do that at E3 because there was just mobs of people there. And
that's like not to cut you
No,
off,
no,
but like if you listen to any of everyone who's left IGN and has their own podcast now, they talk about how it was like you had scheduled times with this company, this company, this company. They'd show you what they had, and you'd give them feedback there on the spot. Mm-hmm. And it was a give and take. All these media outlets, they got information on all the new stuff that's coming, and in return, they who have a wide breadth of knowledge about all this stuff could give back to the developers and be like, you had some good ideas, exchange ideas. There's some good stuff here. Here's some stuff I think you need to work on. And obviously everyone's opinion could be different.
Yeah.
But when you start bringing in the crowds and now all these developers feel the obligation to have a booth with playable demos for the paying audience, that's taking time and resources away from those important, scheduled time slots they had with industry people, whether it was other developers, other studios, other publishers, media, whoever it was a business event. And while it was great fun for all of us to get to see all this new stuff and have it all packed into a weekend, which is the part I'm going to miss the most.
Oh, yeah.
I know.
Like they took that away from them, which I don't get. Like I said, the ESA is they're supposed to represent all these publishers, and they stripped out of this event what was beneficial for them to try to make a profit.
While charging them millions of dollars for the booth. While charging them $1 million for all their stuff.
Millions of dollars for their booth and floor space.
Crunch to get a demo ready.
Expecting them to put on these elaborate stage shows, which they also had to pay for out of their own pocket. And just, COVID hit, and these companies realized, like, we can forego all these costs, and we can put together a tight, curated production display in-house, put it out on the internet. People can all watch at the same time if they want to. If not, it's there to watch on demand, and we can control our narrative. We're not competing against Ubisoft, who went 10 minutes before us, Sony, who's going 30 minutes after we finish.
And not even mention, like, if I'm having like a curated video where I'm putting together like the best things that are coming out on Xbox here in the next 12 months, supposedly,
we should review that.
It's not good.
They will not be doing that again.
No. Well, anyway, that's not the point of my statement. So if I could like make a curated video and go through editing and have like 12 people look at it and then put it out there and have everyone look at it, or I can spend millions of dollars and hope the demo on stage works right.
Yeah.
Or hope that this isn't like, man, this is a cringe fest up here right now, or like whatever. You're removing negative variables from the equation for these developers. So like, why the fuck would they? Like, why would they show up, spend all that money, spend all that time, all the resources, all this stuff to show up to this event for a few days just to be bombarded by fans and not get the benefits like Art was talking about with like the feedback and all. You're not getting that anymore. And Summer Games Fest seems like that's what they were doing, because they did have like some event where they had like they
had an in-house event.
Yeah, and they had like an in-house event, and it looks like they're gonna be doing Summer Game Fest in person this year was the plan, I think. So I think it kind of gives you the best of both worlds, where like, all right, we're gonna have Summer Games Fest. You want to bring your games here? Industry folks are gonna be here. Publishers, developers, media, they're all going to be here to have these things.
Yep.
It doesn't sound. I mean, who knows what if people are going to be doing booths or not, or how all that's going to work. But then, like, there's no talk about like the big press conferences and media events. It's going to be the same thing. It's going to be like the videos from before. So it's kind of like the best of both worlds, and that's why Keighley is still going to have an event this summer, and E3 isn't.
Yeah, I miss old E3.
Me too.
I enjoyed going before the fans were allowed.
Yeah. 33% of our podcasts have actually gone to an E3.
Two in a row.
The only thing I will really miss about E3 is like getting all that information in like that 4-day window.
Dude, that was the best. It was information overload, but at least you knew, like, all right, at least these next few days, this is what I'm doing. Like, not like, oh yeah, I got to remember next Friday that's going on, and next Thursday that's going on.
And that's part of, how, like, even now when they do, the Nintendo Directs or the Sony or Xbox, whatever showcases, like, I've told you guys, like, I just wait until there's a recap afterward, because, like, when it was all there in E3, like you said, I know I could be like, all right, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, later Monday, there's going to be shit all day. I can look at the time. Okay, I can watch that when I can't. It's all there. Now it's like Xbox is on the 13th. Nintendo's on the 25th. Devolver's at 11 p.m. on a Wednesday.
They want to do. And know what else too about that? The E3, you knew E3 Sony press conference was going to be a banger.
Right.
You knew that, like, you knew it was going to be appointment television as opposed to a state of play, which who the fuck knows
oh my God,
if this is going to be good or not.
Ugh.
You know what I mean? So it's just like you knew when you show up to the Microsoft conference or the Nintendo Direct for that time period, it was going to have some awesome shit in it.
Yep.
I mean, all of it may not have been for you, but it's going to have something awesome in it for you. At least one awesome thing.
Yep, it had something for everyone. I mean, even Nintendo, when they did theirs, like, it was the same thing. Because I was there when they announced the Wii U.
Yeah,
so, everyone was confused as fuck. Like, and I remember when I got in there, while we're all waiting to rush into the room when it opened, we're all talking, and we're all like,
"Did you throw elbows?
Was it?
Did you throw any elbows?
No, it was good.
Didn't have to.
Well, the first day I didn't even bother, because everyone was going straight for Nintendo. So I was like, I didn't even bother. So the second day, I was like, all right, I'm going to get here a little early, get closer to the front of the doors. And now I know where it's at.
Yeah.
Straight there. And that's what I did. But yeah, it was like, it was funny though, because like as we're in the main area, and it's just a bunch of us just waiting to get in and talking. Like it's normal people, it's industry people.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's just the amount of people, and everyone's talking to everyone, which is awesome. It was so cool. It was so much fun.
God, I think I'd have a fucking panic attack.
It was a lot of people. Even that before fans, it was a lot of people. But like I remember with the Wii U, everyone's like, so what is this? Like we're like
a mistake.
Confused and everything.
A mistake is what it is.
I was watching that on G4, and they cut to whoever was covering it, because they had one of their main personalities each one of this, and it was like, I think it was Nintendo, then it was Xbox, right, or Nintendo then PlayStation. I figured out how the timing goes, but it was just like,
Nintendo was always last with theirs, because theirs was always so Xbox.
Oh, you're right.
Xbox, because back then Xbox did theirs in the morning, Monday,
right,
and then Sony was at night that same day, and then Tuesday morning was Nintendo.
I think they had something they had to cut to, and they're like talking. They were very confused, and I think that was still during Reggie's time. So they so they called Reggie over. They're like, okay, what is this thing? It was like one of those things. It's like if you have to ask what that is, there's been something's gone haywire. But again, that's kind of what I'm talking about. If they could have had like that video show up for the Wii U go through like let's show 20 people what this video is, and,
Yeah.
well, do they get it? Do they don't get it? I don't know, but yeah, I mean, I'm gonna miss it too for all the reasons you guys already talked about. Like it's just it was as a close to appointment video game television as there is that there was. Those press conferences, even like the one, like, you would even watch like. I mean, Ubisoft was always fucking weird, but I would still watch it every fucking
Oh my
year.
god, I would watch their disastrous 3-hour show.
Oh god,
it was way longer than it ever needed
Always.
to be. But it was always, but you never, but you had Mr. Caffeine, for those couple years, and then you had Aisha Tyler taking over.
But it was still always better than EA.
Oh god, EA's was always the worst. It was so bad. Oh,
but again, I was there, ready to watch it.
Oh yeah,
every year.
No, EA. I think if I did watch it, they lost me the year they brought out Pele. I'm like, this isn't for me. I'm out of here.
So yeah, I mean it's
pre Microsoft, the Bethesda ones were always kind of crazy too.
Yeah, they were.
Those were always wild.
Remember the Bethesda Park one they did? Good stuff. So yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm gonna miss it. I'm gonna miss the just like I said, the appointment television of it, and just how you always find. Like I remember, I would be up to like 2:00 in the morning, just like scrolling around, being like, what other information can I get? And just finding little snippets of like really cool stuff. Yeah, so it's sad. It makes sense for it to be gone, but it's like
they didn't evolve correctly. Jeff took over, and
I would like to see how that. I was still like that's one of the video game breakups I want to understand more. Like I want to see what happened with Konami and Kojima, and I want to know what happened with Keighley and E3 because something clearly happened because he was just like F these guys.
Yeah,
and like the second ESA come out, we're not doing E3 this year, and then like immediately Summer Games Fest still happening this year, not canceled.
We are canceled. Yeah.
So like clearly something happened between those those organizations that has and. If it maybe I don't know, maybe got them the bug in Keighley to go do his own thing and see his vision through to where it is right now, which is clearly the correct way to go about it.
Will we ever get that documentary, the Kojima Konami one? Because I really need that. I really want to know what the hell happened.
There's a series of books. Oh god, I think it's like boss fight books. And they do a bunch of just
I've seen those.
Yeah, they do just a bunch of stories of like just one game. They'll pick like Fallen Fantasy 6. And they have one for Metal Gear Solid. And I want them to do one for Metal Gear Solid 5.
Yeah.
And I'd be all in it. I'd be all the way into getting that.
That would be so awesome. I would love to. I need to know that whole story. I will watch. You can give me like, we're talking like, 30 for 30, The Last Dance, 10 episodes. Like you can give me a big chunk of I will take all the information you can give me of that.
And they didn't even finish the game. I didn't finish 5.
That is the only Metal Gear I have not finished.
Well, I didn't like 3 either.
I didn't like it, but I chucked through it.
I didn't like it. I should reach. Okay, well, I mean, there's been talk about them doing a remake.
Yeah.
But like, I played 3 when it first came out, and I fucking hated it because I felt like I was just in the menus the entire time.
Oh, it was horrible.
And the camera I hated, but I guess they fixed a lot of that in the subsistence.
Subsistence was a lot better.
So
that's how I.
That would be a way to actually play it.
That's how I was able to complete it.
For me personally. Again, that's also like fucking 20 years ago.
Well, let's see. Well, Konami is getting their shit together. It seems like a little bit.
They have a studio with like mocap and studios and shit.
So let's hope we get.
Believe it when I see it.
Give me a new Metal Gear Legacy collection because I need to play 4 again. I need to play 4 again on a modern console with trophies because when I beat 4 the first time, they added the trophies after I already beat it.
Same. I forget where I was, and I saw the Metal Gear Solid Legacy collection.
Oh, it's such a good collection.
I was like, maybe I will. Maybe I'll get it. And I was like, it was like $30. I'm like, maybe not. And I looked it up online, and someone was selling it on Amazon for like $15.
Oh, wow.
So I have a sealed copy of that, the PlayStation 3. So I got that.
Nice.
I have a PlayStation. I have a Metal Gear Solid 4 separately on that too. Anyway, doesn't matter. Any final eulogistic words for E3, if that is even a word?
No, I mean not really. I mean the E3 that I enjoyed has been gone for 4 years now.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
So I
100%.
mean, to see the current iteration go, I mean it's not hurting me at all.
No.
Yeah, it's more of a nostalgic hit as opposed to an actual like reality hit. I guess is the best way to put
100%.
it.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Rest in peace, D3.
Womp womp.
You were good while you lasted. All right, I think that's it, right? I think that's
it.
all there is for today.
That's it.
All right, see you next time, stickheads.